starts pre-K through.
It's rivers, right?
Yeah,
Plural.
yeah.
And I told my boyfriend, she's got really cool news for our kids. I go to like May, I was trying to think of, I'm like,
Share, just.
May, okay. I go and then rivers, I think it's river, and he's looking at me, I go, I'm thinking. So when I do that, I go, I'm thinking, I go, they're cool, they're interesting names, so.
Let me know when you're set, Stacy.
It says she's held up. So I got to go ahead about it.
Yeah. You're all logged in what you need to? Okay, because I don't want to rush you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna open our meeting at 6:03. If everybody could please stand and join in the pledge of allegiance. Perfect timing, Tom. Don't rush, it's okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
I'm this part, almost. It's okay, Thomas. I was waiting for you.
Do we have a need for an executive session? Okay,
I can go first.
we can let them go first. We'll let you guys go first.
All right, so good evening, everyone. See, there are some new members of the board, so just wanted to quickly introduce ourselves. My name is Robert Ponderon. This is Captain Sean Griffin. We're with Turner Construction. We've been entrusted with the capital project. So unfortunately, we didn't have the opportunity to give the board a tour tonight, so we did put together a quick slideshow here just before the meeting. So if you want to go to the next slide. So the first few pictures we look at relate to the CEA pool addition. So those first two photos, both the left and the right, are the exterior brick progress that's been happening over the course since we last met. I believe our last time we presented with you was sometime in May or June. So yeah, exterior brick progress. Since that scaffolding has been taken down, so they have completed on that side of the wall and they're working their way around the building, as you can see.
Can you remind everyone what the plywood is gonna be at the end?
Oh, yes, at the top, that's gonna be all glass. So there'll be glass where you see like the brown and green plywood up there, and then that little void on the left side of the left picture, that's also glass, just so you know. So the glass kind of wraps up in like an L type of shape.
The double set of doors that come out. Yeah, with.
I can scroll down a little bit further. So this is inside the addition. So this really showcases the gunite progress here. So this is the process where they're like spraying the walls. They did this kind of in two parts. So they poured the floor first, allowed that to cure for a period of time. And now what's doing is the gunite process. So spraying all the walls. That photo on the right, you can see just towards the bottom of it, kind of almost like a wall section view. You can see like how thick of how much they're spraying between all the rebar.
Yeah, so it's about a foot thick down at the deep end of the pool. That's what we're looking at on the picture on the right there. It was probably taken yesterday or.
Yeah.
Yesterday. At the top, you can kind of see a little 90-degree angle in there. That's where the pool gutter will sit. So the next step is to finish the gunite process, which they're working on. Probably tomorrow or Thursday, they'll wrap that process up. There's a 7-day wet cure. And then before the next step would be to backfill. Before we backfill, we need to get that concrete strength to 90% so that it doesn't cave in. So a little bit of a moving target on when we'll be able to start backfill. But that'll be a two-step process. One is to fill in around tight to the pool up to like a -4 elevation. And then there's gutter that gets put in, and then there's ductwork that ties to that gutter. It's kind of a steppy process here. We're hoping to get some concrete breaks back here in the next couple of days and kind of get an idea of where we are strength wise. And hopefully after 7 days, we'll reach that 90% of the ultimate strength. to allow us to start backfilling. So it's a little bit of a moving target right now of what exactly when the next step can happen, but working through it.
I believe that's all for the pool. There is obviously locker rooms attached to it. Showcase that the last update. So moving on to the UPK edition. So these first two photos here are both taken from the corridor view. So UPK edition, where we're at right now is we have the interior punch listed. The architect was out last Thursday, did a full punch list inspection of the interior of the addition. The district's waxing the classroom floors this week. So start next week, we'll be able to allow the contractor to start chipping away at those punch list items. But again, this is the corridor view. See that the new wall looks really nice.
The start of school, everything on the inside should be done. We're waiting on some market board, tack boards, but there will be a few elements on the outside that aren't going to be done. Underneath the windows, you'll see the blue out there. That's some tile that's not gonna be on site until probably second week of September. And then above the windows, there's a metal panel that comes over the soffit as well. That probably won't be in until middle of September and work on that. But on the outside, really should be limited to a couple things.
So this is just one of the classroom views, classroom 46. We got in here just before the district started waxing. So kind of gives you a picture of the mostly complete classroom. On the exterior end, really, this is our playground equipment installation that's ongoing there. Got a lot more showing up. I think it's come about the 19th, so it should be here on Monday, the remainder of the playground equipment. Boz has a variety of work. We're gonna sod around the playground area. So, yep, right where the cursor's moving out. That'll all be sodded. And then this blacktop area gets like a sort of like a tennis court type
Like
surface.
spongy, is it spongy or?
It's not quite like a track surface.
Okay,
It's like more like a
More tennis court, okay.
Another way to describe it.
very
And
nice.
that is a little weather sensitive, but they are scheduled to be here 23rd or 6th,
Yeah.
I forget, but
Yeah.
they are
It's the week
scheduled
of the 19th.
to be here, but hopefully a couple buffer for some weather.
Got all the rain out of the way last week.
Mhm.
So moving on to the TRA renovation. So this is just a quick synopsis of the main office. What we're really highlighting here is the SRO office. That's the new wall that kind of delineates the SRO office. That's just recently been painted. We got the new window in there. And then the photo on the right is where really one of the secretaries will sit. That's the transaction window and the new rolling coiling door, excuse me, above it. Correct.
Not a ton of work in there this summer, just created an SRO office, but we are on track to turn that space over
Next Friday.
next Friday.
Wonderful.
Yep. Furniture, district's got furniture coming in 30, so. And then this is the third floor space. So the photo on the left is a view from the STEAM area. And the photo on the right would be the 4th and 5th grade classroom. So you can see prepping for flooring, we're painting. You'll see, we got the ceiling, the cloud ceilings that are started. So that ductwork you'll see is like covered up by a cloud ceiling system.
So the flooring guys are starting in there this afternoon. Really push right now is floors, finishes, floors, ceilings, paint.
The folding doors.
There's glass walls that separate the spaces. They're kind of like folding partitions. So those are set to go in this week.
And then, so scrolling down, these are the new elevator. So the elevator, the photo on the left is an exterior view. So the one closest to you is the vestibule, if you will, the vestibule, and then also the mechanical room. The mechanical room. The photo on the right is the interior view, standing.
Elevator spaces lagging behind a bit. When we got into demo, we did find some gremlins in the wall structurally. We got through it, we dealt with it, got through it, but fortunately, we lost some time there. And so we're anticipating that coming back or being active at the end of September.
Yeah, we have that listed as one of the critical issues. We will get into that once we get to the report. And I want to say it's probably the last, those here, the last slide. So photo on the left is the toilet bill. So we're showcasing the recently completed the rail tile, the bathroom wall tile. And the photo on the right is one of the custodian closets and showcasing the epoxy floor there. But you can also see this wall tile as well. That's a mop sink. So
Nice.
yes, yes. Yeah. So it's taking shape up there.
Loving the pictures. Now you gotta do the before and the after when you're done. That would be an exceptional presentation, especially the third floor of the PRA.
Yeah.
It's probably is that the most well, the pool. The pool, yeah, the pool's just a huge transformation.
There's a lot of spaces, even
Yeah,
some of the smaller ancillary spaces that I've seen tremendous.
Yeah.
transformation.
that's good to know.
Even that little custodial place looked really nice.
It's a nice class.
I've worked in those places. It's nice.
I mean, grass to turf, that's pretty big.
All right, so we typically start out our reports going over the photos. You'll see we did kind of copy some of the photos and leverage that in our presentation. So the top two photos are the four, which we just kind of went over. The second row is related to UPK. The photo on the right there is another view of the site, if you will, kind of more of a zoomed out view. So you can see the recently completed concrete curb, all the new sidewalks throughout the site. That's about all you can see. We did some new fencing as well. Obviously that blacktop surface. That'll all be filled in with about a foot of engineered wood fibers, which is part of the playground code. So that's going about the week of the 23rd. And then the last row really is TRA. So that photo on the left is again kind of a zoomed out view of the SRO office. That picture was taken before the photos you just recently saw, because that wall really hasn't been painted, but just a little bit of a zoomed out view. And just another view of the 4th and 5th grade classroom space. Again, a bit more dated than the ones you just saw. Right, so we'll go ahead and get into our project issues and concerns. So the first one on our agenda under critical issues is the CD8 pool schedule. For those board members that have been here for previous updates, we have been previously anticipating turnover in October. Since we've last met, there have been some factors that have set us back a bit more. And so now we are projecting anticipated turnover at the end of December.
So were they unforeseeable issues, like found problems or?
There's been a combination of factors. There has definitely been some existing conditions that have plagued us throughout the project. But it's also been, a result of some material procurement delays, as well as just some contractor inefficiencies and not recovering time in areas that we hoped we would be able to. We did have an opportunity to brief the admin team about this late last week. Like Murphy was there and the principals from each of the schools. So in terms of educational planning, they are aware of the setback. So they can make adjustments to the education plans as part of the pool, part of the curriculum in the pool.
So you didn't really say this explicitly. You said you talked around it a little bit and you certainly talked out with us about it, but everything else except for the pool should be operational, except for the elevator by the start of school.
Yes, Joanne, that's correct.
That's a good observation.
Yeah, Sean hit on during our slide, the UPK addition's in really good shape. We're very confident there, minus that some of that exterior metal panels and the mosaic tile, which by no means will affect your ability to have classes in those spaces. I don't want to jump too far ahead on my critical issues and concerns, but TRA third floor, again, we do anticipate the district having occupational use of that space come 9/5, but we are going to be upfront that we will be working right up to that date. We will, I know that the teachers and staff wanted to access that space, get it set up. We totally understand that. And so we do appreciate them kind of working with us as we get that space turned over. Yes, Jim, that's great.
And can I ask a question? I think it could be answered later, but did we change sort of teaching stuff so that there's a teacher up there now?
Where?
Up in the
And the TRA and the third floor?
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrea Stanley.
Well, that's what I heard, but I hadn't seen anything about that, so I was curious.
So she's going to, they opted, there's, a lot of schools do this. A lot of schools are departmentalized completely
Right,
by those
right.
grades. We haven't done that. So she's going to be teaching science, STEM, to all the fourth and fifth grade classrooms. And so
Okay.
she's gonna be like the specialist up there, which is something she's super excited.
Yeah, I know she's wanted it for a
Yeah.
long time, and I heard that that had happened, but I hadn't
Mhm.
heard anything from
But she's-
the,
it's
on the
not
board
really-
side.
But just so you know, like she's still an elementary teacher, you can do that, with
Right,
grade,
right,
obviously,
right.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful.
Did I see any change, cost changes to the pushing out of the pool? The pool schedule?
Yeah.
Like any additional charges due to that delay? Like I heard you talk
Yeah.
about
Not anything that we haven't talked about.
that we already knew
previously.
about. Okay, so just in general, contractors, possibly taking a little longer than anticipated, things like that, but nothing of significance to impact the overall budget of the pool.
Cost wise, yeah,
Okay.
nothing that significantly,
Usually you see a change in the cost when you see a 2-month push, but that's good to hear. Yeah.
We know what we're referring to,
Yeah.
understanding conditions.
Yeah, okay, great. I didn't see anything. I just want to make sure I didn't miss it.
there is one change in here that we had talked about previous that it's over 30,000.
Yeah. We knew about that one. Okay, thank you.
The roof, pool shotcrete, again, we touched on it during the pictures. Getting strict on that, that's a critical issue here for the next step moving forward. ERA roof, getting that permanent roof in. Sure, you guys have heard by now that there were some roof leaks over there last week. They've got adequate protection up there now. There is, appears only to have just been damage to ceiling tiles. They do have those on order, and we will get those swapped out before we start.
Is that the flat roofing or the one over the auditorium that's?
It's the flat roofing over the classroom. How many classrooms?
Okay.
Yeah, it was the.
And they don't know that, so you might wanna just tell them what happened.
Okay, yeah, so it's a second floor wing, classrooms 210 to 218, that whole section of the wing. There was some pretty considerable, as Sean mentioned, some water leaks. Really seemed to only damage the perimeter tiles, but a substantial amount of them throughout those classrooms. We do want to just say that the TRA custodial staff was amazing. They were very quick. Yeah, they were very quick to, get on it, really helped to mitigate what could have been a lot worse. Obviously, they should not have had to picking up after us. Take full ownership of that, but nonetheless, we really do appreciate their help in that. I guess part of the reason it was caused is part of the scope of the project was to abate mastic around the entire perimeter of the flat roof. And, just so happened to be where all the water was coming in, because we didn't have it quite put back together.
I was just gonna ask
Yeah.
why it happened. So it's not lack of you guys doing it. It just hadn't been done yet. And because of all the rain that we had, we saw that damage. Is that what I'm
Yeah.
hearing?
Some of their protection.
It was inadequate.
They,
Okay.
when,
Wasn't
Yeah,
accurate.
yeah.
when they leave, they should leave it so it won't leak.
Okay. I just wasn't
Even
sure
if
if
it's
it was
being worked
quite
on.
done yet, and that's why we saw the results we did. Okay,
Their initial asset protection just wasn't cutting it.
got it. Okay, good to know.
You didn't talk to Debbie first.
So we did hit it on the elevator, just at the elevator, we have had some setbacks, so we are anticipating that by the end of September. And then really the last thing we had under the critical issues was the TRA workforce. So really what we're just trying to capture is making sure we have the right subs at the time we need them. So like specifically, we have been having some issues getting painters. We needed some more painters to keep up with the scope. We're having some issues with flooring, getting the flooring people here to do the installations. We have since seen some improvement there. Taper was another one. We've gotten some more tapers, some more painters. Our flooring contractor has agreed to work on second shift. It's night starting tonight, so, which is good, yes, which is good, because they can be very disruptive when they're doing their work. So that will help us.
And that's a cost that they incur if they're paying them on a second shift, or is that?
Yeah,
Okay, that's why, it's good.
And
But
what,
sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead and finish, sorry.
We're concerned about the finishing trades. This time of year, every school district's looking for them, so.
Yeah.
That's why we've got all this years of concern.
Who's the
Trying
flooring
to stay
company? Who's the flooring company?
I believe it's Rug Shop.
Yeah, it's Rich.
What type of issues have you been finding with the elevator?
Structural.
Yeah.
With tying into the existing building. Where we thought there'd be just an all masonry wall, ended up turning half of it was steel protruding from the gym below. And it wasn't a full masonry wall, so we had to get the structural engineer involved. And then it also tied back into the existing roof structure. And make some modifications there. Some of the interior walls that the makeup of those, what we thought they weren't. Not anything, just took time to get through it.
Okay.
There is a cost associated with it, but it's not huge dollars.
Right.
But it's really more the time that we lost than anything.
Contributing to them, because they have to refabricate stuff, like certain
Right.
things they'd have to refabricate, so.
Sometimes I think the TRA morphs itself whenever it wants.
You might be right.
So, and just because not everybody, like we have some people here who have not been through this whole process.
Sure.
Do you want to just super briefly explain that this is kind of a unique elevator situation? And I mean, you probably know that you can't really have an instructional space unless you have, it's accessible. So that's why we had to have an elevator. But
Yeah, just starting off, I'll let you get into the nitty gritty, but it's just to highlight what Joanne's referring to. It's actually called a LULA, so it's an acronym, a limited use, limited application. It's not really even called an elevator, so it is unique in that regard.
It's not like people are gonna be using it frequently, right? It's on an as-needed basis.
I'm not sure how I know there's
so
a on it.
it's just kind of like in the TRA already, the elevator that exists that goes up to the second floor.
Yeah.
If somebody has crutches or a
Right.
wheelchair or something, they use it, they have a special key.
Right.
So it'll be the same thing.
Okay.
But although this is not right on top of the current elevator, so you're gonna
Right.
take the elevator to the second floor, then you're gonna switch, and then you're gonna go to the one to the third floor.
We do that
Go
at
up
Cortland
there.
all the time.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but it works.
Yeah. Mhm.
This elevator is a little unique because we're cutting a hole in the floor of the second floor, creating like a little elevator pit for it to receive the car to
Oh,
come down into. And then tying back into the slope roof on the existing building that was, built in 1930. I think
It's like 35, I think,
yeah.
somewhere around there.
And all the additions and all the other stuff that was done up there and, yeah.
probably wasn't built to code original, well, maybe.
It was built to
Well,
the code of the
Code
day.
of the
Yeah,
day.
the code- yeah,
Okay,
it was-
fair,
it was-
fair enough, Chris.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had really
Can't
inspected
judge.
things back then. But there was a lot of work to be done.
Tie-ins and then just reinforcing steel in the gymnasium to be able to support that new structure on top of it. So it's
Compared to, I mean, I know where the elevator comes up to the third floor. Compared to where the current elevator is, where is the new one located?
other end of the hallway, really.
Long hallway.
Yeah,
So down towards the small gym?
no.
No.
Towards-
Oh, there.
The page.
Down towards the auditorium.
Yeah.
is-
Okay.
Yeah, down that
One is down.
outside.
Yeah, yep, okay, got it.
Oh, okay.
It's a
I'm
ways
glad you
away.
said that. I'm envisioning it.
Thank you, sorry.
Better to have some issues with that now on the inside building it than after it's in, so. It's just better to take the time and make sure everything's connected, right?
Yeah.
At least they haven't found any unknown septic
Don't
tanks
say
yet.
that, because they're not done over there yet.
There was a significant amount of paper removal that was required.
Oh, was there?
When tying
Yeah.
in steel, like the new steel,
Ah.
existing steel, a lot of like spot bedroom that had to happen as well. Just to
Makes
kind of-
sense.
We ate it when we were young. We're fine.
Define fine.
I set myself up for that, gentleman.
Sorry, you were asking for that one, girl.
Some openings just can't be
Gotta take it.
denied, you know?
So just to round out the issues and concerns, so we touched on in the concern section, the third floor, just, working right up to opening day there. We are tracking some material deliveries for the TRA third floor, specifically casework that is, we've been set to arrive Monday, the 19th. Some of the receptacles, electrical receptacles that go in the millwork, there is a possibility those will not be actually installed for the start of school. We do have those on order. The electricians just confirmed the lead time for those. And then the last here is a plumbing day tank. They advised us at the construction meeting that they might not have any time for the start of school, but they were going to forward us the tracking information so we could.
What is a day tank, please?
It's the fuel oil tank that is used to heat the hot water heater.
Okay,
And there's the existing one that's still there and completely operational, but we won't take that offline until we have the new one in rough. We got proof positive that it's here, it's on site. And that may, hopefully it happens before school starts, they just can't get a firm date out of the supplier, so. If it doesn't, then we probably schedule for a weekend or after school. So. But the material deliveries, we're, keeping an eye on this stuff because there will be parts and pieces that are missing at the start of school. Sitting here today, we know maybe the receptacles in one. I heard some muttering about display cases up on the third floor, but again, we'll see when everything shows up. It's the right colors, got the right finish, So something that we're.
We could have damage. I mean, there's elsewhere. Right now, it's whatever you know it to be until you actually get it.
So any of these that are being pushed back, other than the elevator, which is obvious, but it won't preclude using spaces or having students in there. I mean, the third floor wouldn't, but I mean, are there contingencies to? Is that set
So
up for?
I mean, the third floor, because it's going to be not like a core class, I mean, we have a little bit of.
Well, that's what I was
So we only
thinking,
have a
but
couple days so that they can
Okay.
get up there and get everything ready. So I'm thinking by the second week of school.
Right.
They'll be able to get up there. And then, but the pre-K classrooms better be ready.
you heard that. That was a superintendent.
It better be ready. We got littles. They need to have their
And it's
space.
not like they can, they
What if
can go
those
back
are
to their other spaces in the
No, right.
meantime because they've already started
Right.
repurposing
But if
them.
those are outside, that won't have any effect at all on the inside classrooms, right? I
Right.
mean, that's just more cosmetic.
Cleaning up, yeah.
And we're really hoping that so day one, the playground's gonna be good to go with the sod down and it'll be just joyous.
Yes, a lot of work.
Well,
Is really just to round out the remainder of our concerns. So we had the CA pool, the delivery of the exterior glass, which we had shown you in the photos. We just need that to just really complete our dry-in of the space to allow interior finishes to progress. One thing we are tracking is the pool and locker room floor tile delivery. So, we've been getting from the contractor, it's supposed to have been delivered for the past 2 weeks, so it's a trust but verify.
It's in the mail.
We gotta, haven't seen it yet, so in our world, it doesn't exist yet. And then Sean already touched on the exterior panels and mosaic tiles, so. We covered that. Any questions regarding this section?
No, I just a comment. You guys didn't have to come in last week and it moved 2 months, so we're not letting you miss any more of our meetings because we can't afford another 2 months. You knew that I was gonna say something. I know I was gonna say something, so I had to say something.
I was gonna give you grace because I can appreciate the schedule and you guys have been very good about keeping things on track, mitigating risks. I know you're working behind the scenes constantly. So given the schedule and what we've seen month over month, I'm very impressed. Obviously, the pool is still important to us, but
No, but I mean,
Yeah,
even before
you've done
Joanne
well.
said it, I was looking through everything else and I do appreciate that everything else is.
on track.
So it's
and
not a
ready to
lot
go.
of things that are way behind. It's one that went
Yeah.
further. So it's not a lot of small behind. It's one a lot behind.
We're still gonna have a pool party though. It might be at the end of December or early January.
So continuing down our report, so for workforce metrics, we did have the largest workforce metric month to date on the project. Coming in just shy of 6,000 man hours put in the month of July. On our schedule and substantial completion milestones, so we do have the revised pool addition projected turnover, as well as the TRA renovations, like we said, just working right up to that 9/5 date. Nothing's really changed on the project budget. On change management, so we are up to a total of 182 PCOs that we're tracking spread across our 6 prime contractors, excuse me. You can see kind of the breakout there with, of course, the overwhelming majority being with our GC. We are at 15% of our contingency remaining, which is relatively in line with our total project paid out to date, which is that number in the very, very bottom right corner of your page, that 80.66% is what we've paid out on all contracts, district purchase orders, incidentals to date. So our contingency, it is getting a bit thin, such as the nature of where we're at this stage in the project, but that is something that, you know, our teams are tracking, because we do have to get us through, we gotta get to the finish line, and we gotta make sure we have enough funds to do so. I guess just on the very bottom section, the contractor payments, you can kind of see just roughly where we were at across the board of contractors paid to date. So sum total, just about average about 83% of our contracts paid out. Now jumping up to the right column, the QA/QC reports, you can see there's a lot in motion, both some to be completed and ones that have been completed. So that's a lot of Rick's time spent in the field. Rick's our the third member of our project team. He's the project superintendent. He's out there 24/7, making sure the work's getting done. So he really drives a lot of this QA/QC inspections.
Please don't make him be there 24/7. Let him go home and have some sleep time. What
Awesome.
work does Patterson Stevens do? That's the pool. Okay, that's what I thought, but you know,
Yeah, we couldn't list PC twice because PC is the plumbing contractor, so
Yeah.
PW is the pool work contractor.
gotcha.
Yeah, I probably should have.
I was hoping, I was hoping it wasn't another type of contractor who's only not even 50% done.
No, yeah. So that's our pool contractor. They're really a full steam. In terms of field reports and inspections, our Atlantic Testings continue to provide inspections for us on a variety of different types of inspections as we have listed there. Pell Osborne's our landscape architect. They're doing SWIP inspections. So like disturbing the site, stormwater prevention. There's 3 Ps, man. It's the whatever, move on. And then Energy and Environment was doing our air monitoring for the abatement work we were doing at TRA.
The upcoming material deliveries, you've got lockers, floor tile we talked about. We got some glass that should ship the middle of September to get here.
It is coming from Nova Scotia, though. It's got to go through the border. There is, you know, that could negatively impact, or we could get right through. We don't know yet. As Sean mentioned, it's shipping for a few more weeks now.
Playground equipment is supposed to show up next week. There are a couple of pieces that are new. A lot of it was reused. And then just set up in a different configuration.
Do we have a plan of what the playground's gonna look like? I mean, we don't have to do it right now, but if we
Yeah,
could, is it right here?
No,
Well, that's what it looks like now, but I wanted to.
Almost a rendering of all the
Yeah,
new.
Of what it's gonna look like.
AJ sent us a bunch
Yeah,
of
we have
those.
it. Honestly, it'll all be in place by next time we meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can distribute it.
So we
The next
reallocate
time we meet is gonna be in 2
a
weeks.
lot of it, right?
Well, it should be done by then.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you have a moment tomorrow and can email it to all of us, so we have an idea of what.
Oh, I'll see that by tomorrow. We'll see.
It's gonna look amazing.
Very colorful.
Yeah, is it? I love color. Good. The kids are gonna love it.
Just work coming up in the next 30 days. You know, we talked about the pool schedule and the backfill and then the gutters. And then the underground ductwork that gets tied into that gutter. And then moving to like UPK. Just finish up some of the exterior items that will be missing, probably into September. TRA, you know, it's flooring, walls, drywall finishers, painters, papers, ceramic tile on the walls in the main lobby. So it really finishes over the next 30 days and
Also probably pretty noteworthy is we are gonna be top coating the road in the back, so the road and the parking spaces, we are gonna put the top coat.
That'll look sharp.
Nice. If you have any extra, can you keep going down the hill to the bowl? Or even down the back at the TRA down towards that
Clean it up a
spot
little
too.
bit.
There's a
To the
couple
river
spots that are-
flats.
Yeah, but down out back here, definitely, if you have anything extra, just run it down
Everybody's
that hill.
paving everywhere, including Dollar General. Yep.
Outside the pool, some of that, new sidewalks that'll go into late September and October, finish up, clean up that parking lot area. We're meeting with the contractors tomorrow to talk through that. Looks like it'll look like to the end of the project here.
All right, to round out our update, the engineering summary, so we have about 254 RFIs to date, been a few more since this update was produced. But we do have, I don't know how many we have open right now, probably 3 or 4 open right now. Submittals, we're doing really good with submittals. We're getting really close down on the end of our construction submittals, as we should be. And contractors are, to their credit, getting some closeout submittals in, which is great, rather than just waiting till the very end of the job. Special inspections, up to 308 total inspections on the project, which is a combination of SWIP and then ATL's special inspections. And then punch list items, you will notice that the total number of items did jump up from our last update. That is because of the UPK punch list inspections. So both architectural and MEP inspections were done. Did have our engineer out to do the MEP punch list as well. So those have all been distributed to the contractors.
One, just quick question, back to the paving over by the pool, is that gonna affect the bus loop at all, or is that, if there's nothing that's on that loop, it's all off towards the, okay,
All in the back driveway to the bus garage.
okay.
Yeah, right where it enters the bus parking, that's where we stop.
All right, that's good to know.
Gentlemen, just a quick question on the change order summary report. I mean, there's quite a bit here. Obviously, it doesn't require, a lot of it doesn't require board approval. Just like additional costs from like upstate for, privacy screen, sync heights, all that. Are these things that just weren't in the scope, and as you're building them, it's come up that it wasn't necessarily considered for the cost of the specifications? Like, I'm just curious how some of these end up in here, where some of them I think would have, or maybe should have been included in the original cost. I'm just trying to understand a little bit.
It's a little bit of a mixed bag.
Okay,
Some items, like where we added the privacy screen.
yeah,
We just called for fence around it without
Okay.
the privacy screen.
okay,
Felt like having a privacy screen would be good there with kids.
We asked for that, we thought,
Oh.
it'd be too much of a temptation and distraction. for
Gotcha.
kids to be able to see the construction site.
so it could be things that maybe at the time when we asked for it, we didn't know, and now that we're getting closer to finalizing, it's things we recognize we want, and it
Right.
could be something we point out.
Right.
Okay,
And then like the sink height,
yeah,
something kind of a lesson learned from the previous one is instead of having like the previous edition.
Yeah.
Instead of having the little step for the kids to wash their hands on.
just lower it.
Just lower.
Ah, okay,
And
I was just curious,
during the design, but
yeah,
we knocked 3 inches off this,
right,
get rid of the school.
Get rid of the
Right.
straw.
And safer.
right.
Yeah.
I was just curious, like,
Yeah.
even the landscaping, 10 grand, when you're working with a huge budget, 10 grand might not seem like a lot. So I always like to understand the additional costs and were they considered in the initial scope of work? And, is it a lesson learned, or is it just something the school said, hey, we recognize we could, add some more shrubs here, it would look nicer.
There are some enhancements and keeping an eye on the budget and what we have left and where we're going. To be able to spend that down without over.
Right,
it
right.
And getting the best bang for your buck.
Right.
So, yeah.
I'm looking at your burn rate right now. You are on target, but given that our pool is at the end of December, I just want to make sure, we're not in a position where we have to make a tough decision we already had to make those tough decisions. Was it last year? I think it was last year where we had to remove stuff because we didn't have, we realized that what we wanted and what we could spend were two different things. So I just want to make sure we're not going to be in that predicament. I know we don't have a crystal ball, but You guys know what you're doing. I just thought I would ask the question about the scope of work and burn rate. And if you feel comfortable with the amount of dollars you have left, given what you think is the amount of work that needs to be done. Feeling pretty comfortable?
Yeah, because that 15% that we have remaining, it includes, so Sean and I worked through for a couple of days and basically input bombs, rough order of magnitudes. For everything that we know that is potentially out there. So that 15% does encompass, things that maybe they haven't come forward for yet,
Good.
but we suspect could be out there. So to safeguard us in our budget, we'll put a bomb in there just so that we've allocated certain, at least some funds.
Yes.
To whatever, and if it doesn't materialize, great, take that bomb out, put it back in.
Perfect.
All available funds.
Love hearing that. Thank you. I get nervous when I see we're this close, but there's this much money left in the big picture. So thank you for explaining that. I appreciate it.
The good news is we pretty much unearthed most things.
You think,
You
yeah,
never know, we might find something else. but
right.
The unforeseen portion,
Right.
the unforeseen portion should be.
You're kind of past that right now, so hopefully, yeah,
Now it's, okay, we want to make the upgrade there or not, or.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So what was the reason for the change of height of the basketball court?
A lot of the basketballs were going over an 8-foot fence, so we bumped it up 4 feet.
Love it.
Keep the balls from running out onto the field.
It was disrupting sporting events, so it was becoming an issue.
Good question.
And I think it's helped.
Yes.
Yes.
That's good to know.
You have to back up to the phys ed department, tell them, teach them how to shoot.
I don't think it's a real option.
I know, the ones that bounce off the ends in the backboard.
You can leave it to Tom to just say what he's thinking.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Gotta enhance that section.
Well, good job, guys. It looks great. Thank you so much for the presentation.
Any other questions?
Just want to
I'll
look
make
at the
sure
order that they are gonna vote on next. The change order that they're gonna vote on.
This is for those three modifications in the pool
I saw that.
laundry room where an unforeseen condition that we ran into with the existing gym wall, we had a steel piece to that, then we had some foundation piece to that. This is the masonry piece of that. We essentially took the wall between the laundry and the new mechanical room, made that a load-bearing wall. So that way, and then in concert with the steel, finalized the design and the concern that it was putting too much stress or potentially could put too much stress on that gymnasium. Kind of solves it out.
So you really could not have foreseen that in the scope of work
Not until.
until you get in there.
Putting that
Didn't
roof
show us,
off, the existing pool, didn't know that it was bearing on some of that gym wall, and they were worried about.
Yeah.
The gym wall essentially having like a weak point in the
Yeah.
middle of it.
Yep,
So this was to reinforce that and beef that up.
okay.
But in order to do so, some of the new work required revisions to structure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
So
explaining.
that was all done with masonry though? There was no extra steel put in or?
We did have it, when we initially ran across this, we had to break it into pieces to kind of keep the job moving
Mhm.
because, all right, we got the foundations, let's deal with that while we're still working on the steel fix and also the masonry. So in totality, it's more than just that piece is just the CMU, but in totality, that change unforeseen conditions had like 3 different pieces. Does that make sense? Or-
Kind of, I know you were saying when the steel was here, you were doing steel work, so I was just wondering if. Like that's basically done.
Yes.
Did they already do structurally what they could do
Correct.
for this, and now we're just down to the masonry fixed
Right.
end of that whole,
Yeah,
okay.
and the masonry work is done
Yeah, so
at this point, but it was finally got the cost rang through.
So I'm ignorant of the process when you go about redoing things, something like this. But do you not have the previous plans of the building in your hand, so you would know that that could be a load-bearing wall? I mean,
it wasn't as constructed as it was shown on the existing plans. That's where the deviation came. They thought they were like two different independent walls, but it was actually not all of it, but a piece of it was bearing on top of it. And what you don't normally do is in one section of it, they put brick on top of the precast planks that were there. And normally you don't do that. You have a separate lintel to carry it, so it's not bearing on a roof. So that, yeah, as built aren't always as accurate as.
Right, we didn't really have, I think you guys talked when we first started meeting with you, that we didn't have as-built built according, I mean, we didn't have the proper documentation of what we,
It's
what.
by no means unique to.
Right, right,
Yeah.
okay.
You're,
Like I heard the TRA was a nightmare, like their as-built didn't accurately reflect what was there, so that's a really good question, but then that helps us understand why there's a cost.
Yeah.
But we are gonna have really good as-built from you gentlemen, right? I'm looking forward to that. Yes.
It's a different world.
Yes, fair enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very
thank you very
much.
much for allowing us to speak.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing all the good stuff
Yeah.
coming for our opening night and.
That all
This,
looks, looks
this
great.
again in 2 weeks.
We'll see you soon. How about that?
We're smiling today.
2 weeks, 2 days.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so at this point now, we are going to convene into executive session at 6:48. Your discussion on. They have a motion? So moved. Thank you, Chris. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Tiana. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, we'll be back as quickly as we can. Unless we get lost.
Oh, yeah.
It goes away.
You see all those new improvements? Big capital project. It's exciting, isn't it? It's almost done. Eileen, so now what is going on? Good.
Stacy, I'll slip you $100.
Do all the new business next. Skip to a placement.
Just skip everything. Skip it. Well, I don't think the rest. Doesn't seem like stuff in between is that like.
It shouldn't be.
It should be.
Are you?
I left work to see. Thank you.
Jeans.
I felt uncomfortable abstaining from all of that. Do we have everybody? Yep. Okay, we are going to reconvene into regular session at 7:39. Change order for the 2021 capital project, PCO GC-050 CEA cost for masonry modifications at west wall of pool laundry room due to unforeseen existing conditions not to exceed the amount of $1,385. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tiana. Second? Second. Thank you, Chris. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? We do not have any correspondence. We have some policy discussion regarding the wellness policy update.
In your packet is a copy of an update to the wellness policy. It needed to be updated based on what guidelines currently are. It is just for your review. Give it a read.
For the meeting in 2 weeks.
No, we can talk about it again
In September.
and then in September
Okay.
we can start.
Gotcha.
It's just for your information.
Okay. So no discussion on that this evening. Okay. Policies for first reading, there are none. Policies for second reading, we have the admission of non-resident students. Be resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent that the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District approve policy 7131, admission of non-resident students for second reading and adoption. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tiana. And a second.
Second.
Thank you, Molly. Okay. What do we need to discuss?
Want me to start?
I think that might be best. if
Okay,
you
so
wouldn't
for the
mind.
last few meetings, we've had much discussion on this policy and we find ourselves in a very different time. Right now, we're having great difficulty having enough faculty and staff to take care of district residents. Our mission as a school board is to make sure that all the students who are residents of our school district get the quality education that they deserve. That's what we're tasked with doing. While we generally, we care very much about children everywhere, our first responsibility has to be to our district residents. So we had great discussion. We had some legal consults. We had a special meeting to look at this a little bit further because we know that it has a lot of impact on families. And decided to change our policy so that from here forward, we were not going to be accepting non-resident students. We would grandfather those non-resident students who had been here already in for one more year to be able to help them transition. They can make a decision about whether they want to stay this one last year or go back to their respective residence. And then we would make an exception for employees' children, because as I said at the beginning of this, we have, it is very competitive now getting faculty and staff, and all districts except in one, sometimes there are different stipulations, allow employees to bring their children to their school districts, because that can be a lure to help make the district more appealing. Because if you have young children and you're going to work each day, it's a lot easier if you can just take your children and your children are near you in case something comes up. So as a means of attracting and retaining employees, we decided to keep that way. In addition, we have a clause in there that would allow current employees whose children have been attending here to, if they retire, they can continue to have their children. Or if they are retired employees and their children have been attending, they could continue to have their children attend here. But starting September 1st, 2024, any new employees would not be able to do that.
Would not be able to have their children attend after they retire.
Yes, correct.
Great recap, Joanne.
And I think everybody on this board, this is a tough decision.
Yes.
Yep. But as you said, our main charge is to educate the students who live within our district. And that umbrella includes student of our employees, not faculty.
Employee. I do have one conversation. I think, and this may come up later, when we look at this, like really defining employees versus substitutes, substitute teachers, things like that. We may have to look at that just a little bit deeper later, but right now I'm happy with what we have.
We have, it says, board appointed full-time employees.
Right, but at some point in time, we may become like other districts where board appointed is actually subs and everything else, because there's a lot of boards that do that. So I just want to make sure that we know that we might have to reconsider that and look at it at a later time.
Well, and there was discussion also in our previous meetings that we need to look at this continually. If suddenly
Right.
things change and this is not an issue anymore, or we are looking, our enrollment changes and we have more room, I mean, then the district stance may change.
Does anybody else have any thoughts? You know, like, are you okay with the policy as written? Because the intent is to, unless there are objections, to approve this tonight. So that it is in effect for the start of the school year. It's one of those speak now or forever hold your peace things until we review it again.
No, I'm fine with the policy as long as we continue to rewatch it.
Yep, I agree.
I think it's difficult, but I think that this is the direction we need to do.
Molly?
And it is consistent with our neighboring districts.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Is everybody ready to vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, that brings us to our first opportunity of 2 for the comments from the public. Each speaker will be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes and the entire public comment period to a maximum of 30 minutes. This may be waived by a majority vote of the board. The board requests that each speaker states their name, residency, and topic of discussion. By law, the board will not permit any public statements regarding individual students or employees. Please be advised that while the board takes public comment very seriously, we are not allowed to comment or respond during the meeting, as this is our opportunity to hear from our stakeholders. Items brought to the attention of the board will be taken under consideration for future responses or action, or the proper staff member will get back to you at the appropriate time. Is there anybody who would like to speak at this time? Okay. That brings us to commendations.
So we would like to commend the Whitney Point administrators, faculty, and staff involved in ensuring a successful summer of learning with the summer enrichment program and summer high school summer school is still in action right now, but our summer enrichment program was filled with all sorts of wonderful activities this summer, and we had so many people doing really creative things with kids. And we had some new people leading the program who stepped up and they did a really excellent job also. I don't know, Shannon, do you want to share anything more about some of the different things that happened this summer?
Yeah, so as Joanne said, we had somebody else who worked as the coordinator, last year's coordinator. Had a wonderful baby and wasn't willing to do it. And this time we had teachers come in different roles. So we had the Spanish teacher come and work with these little kids. We had yoga, we had STEM, which was awesome because outside of our offices, we could see them, they were shooting off the rockets and making bubbles. And even though we, again, had to use the Lyle pool, it was in such a good rotation.
Town of Lyle.
Yes. I think the kids really were excited that they were not only focusing on literacy, but expanding what they thought they were going to be able to do. So it's really great.
Learning through fun, which is the
Yeah.
best way to do it.
241 students.
Wow, that's wonderful.
My daughter still asks nearly every morning if she gets to go back.
I heard a lot of parents and students commenting on how much they enjoyed it because there were quite a few who were coming in to grab books after they got picked up. And I would say that it was a definite success.
That's our creative professional staff. They're amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I heard the teachers talk about how you guys had changed it up with the rooms and stuff, and they thought they enjoyed it very much.
Well, kudos to all of you and thank you for doing that.
What's not on here is another thing that's been happening across the district this summer is we are part of the Regional Rise Grant, which is was awarded to our BOCES and we are one of the sub-awardees. So we have had funds, we have training and then funds for all sorts of people who it could be, there are paraprofessionals,
We have our foreign
teachers.
language teacher
Yes.
doing it.
all sorts of people who I was like, I wish I had a little more time because I would love to do this. Get trained and then provide one-on-one tutoring with students this
Mhm.
summer. And so there have been a steady stream of cars dropping kids off. Some of them did it during summer enrichment. It's really amazing, just like, learning is fun in summer enrichment when you're active and you're engaged in different kinds of activities. For kids to see success in reading when they get that one-on-one attention, instruction really at their level, they're just joyous too. So that's been really nice to see all that.
Have the teachers who have been tutoring at the library, is that part of the
Yep,
program?
Yep.
It's been fun for me too,
Yeah.
because I've been able to recommend some books for the kids to try, and I have to tell you that Baby Monkey Private Eye, as soon as it comes back, it
Yeah,
goes
Baby
back
Monkey
out
is a
with
fun
somebody,
movie.
so.
Yeah, Baby Monkey is a fun book. Yep.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah, so that's a wonderful thing that's happening this summer too. And Whitney Point Community Schools and the Early Eagles program for we want to commend them for hosting Meetup Mondays throughout the year. This year, this offers an opportunity for children birth through age 5 to engage in themed read alouds and activity gatherings. They make it more fun and outdoorsy during the summer, and we thank Beth Whitaker and all the people who work with her for making that awesome.
Joanne, can I ask you a quick question? Because I'm gonna forget it if I don't.
Okay.
Will there be a summer graduation?
We don't know yet.
Okay.
But I will tell you when it would be, if it was going to be, which would be August 22nd, after the Yonder event. So we'll have to.
Timing is
end
everything.
that.
Hey, everybody come have cake.
There may be one student, we don't know if
Is it gonna roll right into the graduation so that everybody that's there is?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay,
Thank you, Joanne. I just kept thinking and forgot to ask it.
all right, old business, there is none. We have no presentations this evening. That brings us to the consent agenda. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tiana.
Second.
Thank you, Chris. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, brings us to appointments. Be it resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent that the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District approve the 4-year probationary appointment of Aaron D'Antonio, principal in the principal teacher tenure area effective September 1st, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Chris. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tiana. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Be it resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent that the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District approve the 4-year probationary appointment of Christina Emerson, special education teacher in the special education teacher tenure area effective September 1st, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Molly. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tiana. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Be it resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent that the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District approve the 3-year probationary appointment of Rebecca Nelson, art teacher in the art teacher tenure area effective September 1st, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Chris. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tiana. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, 4-year probationary appointment of Jacob Broder, social studies teacher in the social studies teacher tenure area effective September 1st, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tiana. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Approve the 4-year probationary appointment of Krista Fizette, elementary teacher in the elementary teacher tenure area effective September 1st, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tom.
Second.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions or comments?
She must be super excited.
She is.
She was my student years ago.
She worked in our pre-K before.
Yeah,
at
I know.
Oakland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's been down and
lot of life going on for her, so I'm super happy for her.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? The four-year probationary appointment of Abby Beaver, health teacher in the health teacher tenure area, effective September 1st, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Chris. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Tiana. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Approve the four-year probationary appointment of Kimberly Piney, elementary teacher in the elementary teacher tenure area, effective September 1st, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Chris. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tiana. Any questions or comments?
Very happy to have.
Yes. Welcome. Thanks for staying.
Of course.
Never sorry.
Okay.
She was very excited about all the improvements. She was happy
Yeah.
to see all of that, right?
Very
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Welcome aboard.
Congratulations.
Welcome.
And you don't have to hang out anymore if you don't want to.
I told her she could leave after.
Yeah, nobody will feel offended. You can go home.
Enjoy your evening.
Would you like to say anything to us? You're more than welcome.
Well, I just want to thank you all for the opportunity. I'm just so excited and I can't wait for the first day and I'm excited to be a part of this district. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. Have a great night. Thank
Bye,
you.
you too.
Bye.
Now, the next two people on the agenda, they have to stay until the bitter end.
I just want you to know, I told her as junior president, I would give her dispensation.
Nice one, Kim.
Okay, approve the appointment transfer of Kimberly Becker to the temporary Stronger Connections grant-funded position of Student Success Coordinator effective September 1st, 2024, as per the memorandum of agreement between the Whitney Point Teachers Association and Whitney Point Central School District. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tiana. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions or comments?
Very good. Congratulations. I'm so excited. I hope you enjoy it.
Yes.
I'm really excited about it. I look forward to, maybe you could let us know how it's going.
We will.
That was Kimberly that we just did.
Yeah.
Didn't we
Well,
just do
I
Penny?
think that we're in good hands. I'm very
Yeah, this is
appreciative
good.
of the people that have
Yeah.
put forward
All right,
to do this, so thank you.
Appreciate it.
It's very exciting.
It is.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Approve the appointment transfer of Amy Alston to the temporary Stronger Connections grant-funded position of Student Success Coordinator effective September 1st, 2024, as per the memorandum of agreement between the Whitney Point Teachers Association and Whitney Point Central School District. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tiana. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Molly. Any questions or comments?
See you above.
Kim and I were, well, I was laughing. We have a combined 52 years of experience in the TRA. Wow, impressive. I'm gonna be coming up to the high school, so I'm really excited about that. And we're just appreciative of Joanne and the admin team for believing in us and really appreciative of Joanne for having this vision and writing this grant that we were awarded. So we are really, really excited about what's to come.
Couldn't be two better people to do this work.
Oh, well, we're so excited that you're excited. This is fantastic.
And that is one thing that I truly appreciate about this district is that the district has always had a vision. You know, a long time ago, we were one of the first districts that started bringing in the smart boards and things like that. And then all of a sudden, everybody else is following us, you know? And so I really feel like as small as we are and as a difficult area we're in, given employment and economic factors, that we can have those visions and make them happen.
And I would say going back to like, I got 32 of the years. Going back all the way, you say vision to Carol Eaton,
Yep.
Joanne, like the vision, all of the different trainings we've had. This is really, for me, the culmination of many of them.
Yep.
And so we can put them all together into something that will be sustainable, that's the goal.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm very excited and I look forward to hearing how it goes. So, good luck and enjoy.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain?
Yay.
Approve the appointment of Amber Robertson, temporary Stronger Connections grant funded position, student success counselor, effective September 1st, 2024. May I have a motion? Thank you, Chris. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tiana. Any questions or comments?
We're very happy to have Amber too.
Yes.
we are.
Now, was there just 3 people for that program, Joanne? It's more.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, get a couple more here.
Gotcha.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Approve the appointment of Damon Miracle, technology agriculture term substitute teacher, effective September 1st, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Molly. And a second?
Second.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I heard Tiana first. Any questions or comments?
We'll have 'em.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Approve the appointment of Brittany Ayers, bus monitor, effective September 1st, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
I heard Tiana
I'll
and
second.
Chris.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Approve the appointment of Tashiona Stisi, cleaner, effective, August 14th, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tom. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions or comments?
He's replacing Teresa Pocolombo.
I have to tell you, the cleaners in our school district are one of the backbones. You don't see a lot of them because a lot of them work at night, but I would say in general, our schools always look up to snuff.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Approve the appointment of McKenna Wheaton to the temporary Stronger Connections grant funded position of student success teacher, effective September 1st, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tiana. And a second?
Second.
Was that you, Aubrey? Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Approve the following transportation requests for the 2024 through 2025 school year. Going to Central Baptist Christian Academy, Camille Morrison and Troy Morrison. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tom. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Molly. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? We have several non-resident student applications. We're going to vote on each one separately. Luna Ward, grade 2. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tiana. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tom. Any questions or comments?
This is the one that's been, okay, yeah, coming, okay.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain?
Abstain.
Okay. Aries Bassett, grade 3. May I have a motion? Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Molly. Any questions or comments?
We received this 2 months ago. Okay.
This was the gentleman that was here.
Yeah, okay.
And so they've been attending.
And they've been attending. Okay, thank you.
And they're aware that it will be only for
Yes.
this.
And he was present for that.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure I have the right.
The
information.
name and the person we're thinking of are the
Yes,
same.
Thank you.
They're all connected. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Reed Hulbert, grade 5. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tiana. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Benny. Any questions or comments?
Child has also been here.
Okay,
Right,
They're seeking to get back in the district.
right. Okay.
so they've been here.
Yes.
Okay,
And also understand that if they're not able to move back into the district within this year.
And we're gonna follow up with a letter to like outline all of that. you know, what
Great.
The new policy says.
great.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Michael Fleming, grade 3. I have a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Tiana. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Molly. Any questions or comments?
Not been attending.
This child has been here.
Oh, has been here. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? You've been here a long time or just the last year?
They were residents and then left the district because of,
I'm not sure what they.
they were here last year.
But he was.
Okay.
And they understand this.
This will.
policy.
Okay,
He was,
Thank you.
as a non-resident student last year.
Okay.
thank you.
Any further questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Travis and Keegan Weldner, grade 5 and grade 3. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tom. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Benny.
So this is where it gets hard. This is a new application.
So this is a new application. They have not been attending either as a resident or a non-resident.
Right.
Thank you for the clarity.
Unfortunately, given the policy that we just approved, they do not meet the criteria to attend as a non-resident student. Am I understanding things correctly?
Yes.
I mean, I understand the letter, they tried to use the borderline thing with Kilowog, but my sister's in the same situation. She's lived in Kilowog all her life, but she's in Boone County, but she has to go to Marathon schools, so it's not an uncommon thing to see. Happens in Triangle all the time, Shenango Fork, Shenango Valley, it's all over the place. Yep. All those in favor? Any opposed?
Nay.
Any abstain? Emergency response plan. We had the hearing earlier at our reorg meeting. You see before you the revisions for this year, which I think is a really awesome way of doing this because then you don't have to search through the document for each individual item. Thank you.
Yep.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Chris. In a second.
Second?
Thank you, Tiana. Does anybody have any questions?
So again, just before you guys vote on this, we had a hearing at the reorg meeting on July 2nd. Then it opens up a 30-day public comment period. We received no comments from the public. I assume that's good news. Just kind of recapping some of the bigger changes from last year's plan. And they are, again, bullet pointed here for you. So I'll be skipping around a little bit, but the first one, page 4, we did add 3 definitions for the following terms: trauma, trauma-informed, and trauma-informed drills. Again, you can see those definitions on that page, and that was on the guidance and recommendation from SCD. Page 14, we add the section respond to threats and acts of workplace violence. Numbers, we did create a new board policy. It was a state law for schools to be in compliance. So again, once we approve this policy, that's also part of our emergency response plan. So that section references that. Page 23, this is the one we probably had the biggest discussion on at the hearing. back at July 2nd, some notification of drills. And again, this is now a requirement, the points that the school district has and will follow procedures to notify parents or persons in parental relations of all drills the district holds that involve students. Again, I'll save you from having to read all that for you again, but we did have that discussion and how, again, we never had the scare tactic type of drills before. That's really, I think, what the legislation was trying to prevent. But again, now with this new law in place, again, we will give advance notice to families of any upcoming drill for that. Skipping down, again, page 49, we had to add a new appendix F, which is our new workforce violence prevention policy statement. It's a good thing to have in there. And then again, out of our hearing, which I guess I mistakenly brought this up, but it was worth some research. Me, Joanne, and Carrie were scratching our heads trying to track down the very first emergency response plan in the district. We made it all the way to 2001 with some research, but yeah, for some reason, somewhere along the way, the modifications started at 7 and not 1. So we understood that was a grammatical thing. So we added that, and we went back and added the modifications to start at 1 and not 7. So a little embarrassed about
Which is
that.
why we're at 21 now.
That's right. And then again, for Chris's suggestion, it was a good one. The way the phones are working these days, we added area codes on the pages indicated. And that is the updates for the current emergency response plan.
Good job. Does anybody have any questions?
No, thanks, Zach.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? We have some equipment for disposal at the Mel Manassi and Son Auctioneers Fall Auction. 1, 2, 3, 4 large buses, 1 small wheelchair bus. That's the one that they've been using as a maintenance vehicle. And another small wheelchair bus. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Zach, I just got a quick question. Oh, sorry. I get excited. Sorry.
It's okay.
Looking for a mobile home?
A tiny home.
Times are tough. All right. You could always.
I see they're going up to Mel Manassi auction. I just gotta go to it.
He is looking for.
Stephanie, I'll wait until you're ready.
No, you go right ahead.
Okay, no, just a quick question. Zach, is it based on mileage, age, or do you have, like, I know you do a really good job rotating and making sure we have new buses purchased, so we don't, the budget isn't overextended. How do you determine, what goes?
Yeah, so
For
we have some
disposal.
real basic criteria. Anything, again, has to, in our mind, be at least 8 years old and over that 100,000 mile
Okay.
gap. If it's close, again, we take other things into consideration, and a lot of it is the current state of the bus. So we get in these situations where when they're 8, 9, 10 years old, the amount of body work for them to pass DOT inspection can
Okay,
become $20,000, $30,000, $40,000.
all right,
And that's kind of where we figure out, is it worth it to keep this bus going? Or again, should we just get rid of it and focus on new buses? And you see, we're getting rid of 6 this year.
yep,
Which is a little more than what we've replaced, but again, from a few years ago, when we went to the double tripping, our runs were around at 28 runs for the whole district at once. We're down to 19 now. So we do, again, we reduce the amount of buses we have to have
All right.
to do our.
and we're doing 2 to 3, the rotation for the buses?
We typically buy 4 to 5 a year.
4 to
but
5 a year,
again, With
okay.
the prices, it's been a little more on the lower end of that.
Right, I just, because
Yeah.
of the cost, all right.
And one of them is the maintenance bus,
Yeah,
so.
so I mean, we're still getting rid of another wheelchair bus from the bus garage. It'll go to the maintenance department.
Right.
Another older one that will keep going for a bit.
And Zach,
Yep.
is there a minimum bid that we have set?
No, they go to the
Well,
Manassi auction, but
So
typically,
there's not one that they have to match, like
no.
somebody could bid.
They pretty much get at least 2,000, but some of the better ones can get up to 6, 7 grand. Just
I'm
depends
going
who's
for my
looking
new
for it.
house.
And the fact that we don't have to pay to have them disposed of.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
thinking, just
no,
get
I
as
know.
much as we can out of it.
Well,
That's
yeah,
all.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's why we
There are
save
people
them
that are
for the
interested.
Manassi auction.
Yeah.
Typically the best place.
And I think that if we put a reserve on them, that
It scares people off.
Right, we may
But
not,
that's not a comment. to have
we
a
got an
clear on
auctioneer
something,
in the
especially
presence.
When you're responsible to the taxpayer.
Yes, the
Yeah.
town might not do that anymore. Mel Manassas probably wouldn't let you put a reserve on those, actually.
Yeah, no.
Buses, yeah.
I mean, if we don't sell them, we have to keep them on insurance at
Sight
that point,
unseen.
which it's not worth
Yeah,
it, because you are insuring a bus for another whole year.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So we don't pay them anything, they just cut us a check for whatever they
No,
sell.
they take
There's
a
the fee.
commission out of it.
Okay, there's the fee, okay, but they don't,
Dream on.
they don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe they wanna do something good for the school. Like,
They're
remember.
pretty good, and like, once it gets board approved, we pretty much get them up there pretty quickly, and they'll take ownership, and then we get them off insurance, and
Love it.
so it's not bad.
All right. Good job, Zach. Thank you.
Yep.
Any further questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? We have an amended instructional calendar for 2024 to 2025. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Tiana and Chris? They amend. Yeah, what was amended on this?
State ed changed the regents,
Oh,
they added a day of regents exams, that was not on our calendar.
27th or the one before that?
The June 11th.
So they're talking-
New phase in.
They're talking about getting rid of regents, but they add another day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So until it's official, we have to keep it on the calendar.
Yeah, and then, but, yes, and June 11th is now a regents day.
Okay.
I don't know when we.
Any questions? No. Resolve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain?
Right, what I think what you're saying is they didn't add a day, they moved a day.
Right, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we didn't.
They
But
just
they are
adjusted the timing.
adding they're phasing in new assessments at the same time we're talking about changing. moving
Yeah.
Away from that, so that's. Yeah.
Okay, seeker determination for proposed project. Resolution of the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District regarding a State Environmental Quality Review Act determination for the proposed project. At the regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District, Broome County, New York, held at 10 Kybel Road, Whitney Point, New York, at 7 p.m. on the 13th day of, it was at 8 p.m. 6 p.m., sorry. On the 13th day of August 2024. Whereas the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District Board is proposing to undertake a $100,000 capital outlay project consisting of construction and renovations, including incidentals and expenses relating to select security access control, door hardware and related systems at the Carl E. Adams Elementary School, the project, and whereas the board wishes to fully comply with its obligations under the State Environmental Quality Review Act, SEQR, and the regulations thereunder with respect to the proposed action, and whereas the board has carefully considered the nature and scope of the proposed action, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District, Broome County, New York, as follows. Section 1, the proposed action involves construction and renovations, including incidentals and expenses relating to select security access control door hardware and related systems at the Carl E. Adams Elementary School. Section 2, the Board of Education hereby declares itself lead agency pursuant to SEQR. Section 3, the review will not be a coordinated review. Section 4, the proposed project represents the replacement, rehabilitation, or reconstruction of a structure or facility in kind on the same site within the meaning of 6 NYC RR 617.5 C2 and/or represents routine activities of educational institutions, including expansion of existing facilities by less than 10,000 square feet of gross floor area within the meaning of 6 NYC RR 617.5 C11. Section 5, the proposed action is a type 2 action within the meaning of 6 NYC RR 617.5 and is therefore not subject to review under SEQR and the regulations thereunder. Resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tiana. And a second?
Second.
Go ahead. I was waiting for Tom. Go ahead. I got Tom.
That's all.
Any questions or comments?
So again, just for Aubrey and Benny, pretty much every time we apply for a project, no matter the size, we have to go to SED to get a project number assigned, and a part of that process is the board has to designate if it's a secra, a type 2 or a type 1 project. Type 1 means there's a lot more environmental work, which is very rare. Even our major project that had the turf field was a type 2. But it's just a formal thing. We do the $100,000 capital outlay projects every year now. Which again requires us to get the project number. So this is kind of the part that we need to get done first by the board, and then we can submit our paperwork to the state to get that project number. This capital outlay specifically is for the CEA. The last 2 years, 3, we were focused on the TRA, doing the wireless badge readers in all the classrooms. Now we're going to start that at the CEA. So hopefully over 2 years, we'll be able to get that.
And thank you for keeping on top of that. Appreciate it.
Any questions?
No.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Approve of the renewal agreement between the Board of Education of the Chief Executive Officer and the Whitney Point Teachers Association. Does that read correctly?
I think you just reread the sentence backwards, that's all.
No, I didn't.
It's just no renewal.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yep.
Approve the agreement or
Yes.
renewal?
The
Agreement.
agreement.
Okay.
But is it the Board of Education of the Chief Executive Officer?
Board of Education of Winnie Point School District approval agreed between the Board of Education, Winnie Point School District and Boone County. Oh,
Okay,
this
so
is the
take
other
out
one.
Board of Education.
Yeah, this is the other one, yeah. Sorry, I was reading the other one.
Okay. Be it resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District approve of the agreement between the Chief Executive Officer and the Whitney Point Teachers Association. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Tiana and Chris? This is what happens when you try to prepare it when the power goes out. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Be it resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent that the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District approve of the renewal agreement between the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District and Broome County. May I have a motion.
So moved.
I have Tom and Molly.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments?
So you may remember were some questions, but we did review and they had made those changes that were the original concern. So
Right.
even though we still had a concern about the timeline for when payments were gonna be made. I think just maybe Stephanie and Tom will remember back to the original concern about working extra for the DA that we were paying for.
Yeah,
And it's changed now.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
even, it's been,
The wording's okay.
it's the wording that was the problem. It was
Yeah.
never about the SRO or anything
Right.
like that. It
Right.
Just, originally, we paid for part of the year, and then the district
Okay.
attorney's office had them to work for them on our taxpayers' costs. So it was kind of a double charge to our
Or at the very least, it appeared that it was.
Right.
the way it was
Either way,
written, it
yes.
was.
Yeah, no, I know, but yeah,
Because as county taxpayers, they pay for the county.
Yeah.
School district pays for the school district was paying for services that would have been beyond the time they would have been with us, and our district was paying for them to work for the county. So it's not worded that way.
It's not worded
Yeah.
that way
It
anymore.
looks
yeah,
No, so it's great, thank you,
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? And I just want to comment that we have been very blessed with the SROs that we have been able to hire.
Thank you.
One of our, Brad Solomon's gonna be interviewed next week by WICZ, is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Oh, not for a different, like,
I know that was my moment of panic. too.
Yeah, no.
No, he can't leave.
I think it's a piece on what it's like to the transition from an on-duty officer to working in the school.
Oh, that's great.
Great. Okay, agreement between the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District and ProCare. May I have a motion. So moved. Thank you, Chris. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tiana.
So, yeah, this is a renewal of an agreement, for us acquiring a high level, their one-to-one nurse. This nurse is with them, the whole time they're in our, care, including from time to get on the bus, and time to get back. It's something that the district, cannot provide. We contract with ProCare, you know, it's an expensive agreement, but we do get a good portion of that back, in state aid. We can file for it.
So is it where we pay ahead, Zach, and we get reimbursed later?
How much do we get reimbursed?
This one would be high cost, so there's a threshold and then you get, I think it's around 73-75% back after you meet a threshold.
So we pay up to the threshold and then we get that percentage back of everything that's over the
$7
threshold.
over that. This is, yeah, very high cost.
Okay. So it'll be a significant amount that. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Approve the professional services agreement for architect and engineering services with Ashley McGraw Architects for the anticipated 2024-2025 capital outlay project at a cost exceed $15,000. May I have a motion. Moved. Thank you, Chris. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tiana. Any questions or comments?
Jen, what was this for again?
Yep, so this is, goes with that secret resolution.
Okay,
So basically, out of our $100,000 capital outlay project, we need an architect to certify the project to SED. But you know, again, they do the blueprints, they monitor the project, they come out, check off everything. Bid the work if we have to. Basically, they act as like construction managers.
oh, great.
So.
And they do all the documentation?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep, so this is their fee for that work. So really, over $100,000 capital outlay project, we get $85,000 improvements and $15,000 goes for.
gotcha. All
So
right.
was this bid out and they won the bid or?
No, actually, this project, door contacts are on their state contract, so we, again, get the service from A&E, which is really our architect on file, which we RFP for occasionally. And then again, because this work is gonna be off state contract, we can work directly with that vendor. If it wasn't, that's when we would have a separate bid.
It's always nice when you can stay with the same firm. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, resolution committing to the purchase of technology equipment for the South Central Regional Information Center services from the Brum Tioga BOCES. Whereas the South Central Regional Information Center Service 610 requires additional technology equipment to the currently available equipment. Whereas the Whitney Point Central School District wishes to finance the cost over 5 years with a multi-year installment purchase, the Brum Tioga BOCES is hereby authorized to expend annually on behalf of the Whitney Point Central School District in conjunction with the South Central Regional Information Center Services funds to acquire the following equipment. 3 Sharp BP 70C45, 1 Sharp BP 706C65, 2 Sharp BP 70M65, 3 Sharp MX M5071, 1 Sharp MX 6071, 1 Sharp MX MS M6570, 3 Q0, you guys can read it, sorry. My tongue is starting to trip over itself.
You do so well. She was. I was wondering how to pronounce that.
Well, I know it's Kyocera, so, you know.
Show off.
Total purchase price, $135,566. Estimated financing costs, $19,824.25. Total cost, $155,390.25. Estimated installment payment is over 5 years, $31,078.05 per year. The payment schedule above is based on the estimated interest rate of 7%. The annual payment amount may fluctuate depending on the final rate assigned 3 to 7 days prior to the funding date. The interest rate will not exceed 7.5%, and the payment amount will not exceed $31,361.57. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second. Go ahead.
I have Benny.
I do too.
Are these printers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit of a transition for the district. This resolution, it's drawn up through an IPA through BOCES. This is how we do our annual computer purchases in March. Which again, you guys know we borrow a large amount of money over 5 years to keep our payment schedule. 5 years when that IPA goes away, that equipment in theory is obsolete. We get a new IPA. That's how we sustain the computer purchases throughout the district. Currently, we had a district standalone lease through this company, which our lease was running out this summer. It was the end of the 5 years. This company, since when we last contracted with them to be our provider of copiers, became a partner with BOCES, which is fantastic because then again, we can run our costs through BOCES and it gets aid. So previously we were paying around $35,000 for copiers annually on Aidable. This is it's a two-part kind of resolution. This is the equipment part that BOCES requires for the farm over 5 years. The other part, it's going to be roughly about the same, $30,000 a year in maintenance from this company. So our payment will be around $65,000 a year. So it goes up, but again, we'll be getting back 83% in BOCES aid the following year.
That we weren't getting before.
Correct. So net cost, we were paying around 35,000, we'll be paying closer to 10,000 net cost.
Just the materials or the maintenance?
All included, yeah.
All
So,
of it is
yeah,
covered?
it's gonna be substantial savings. It, you know, looks like it's inflated cost wise. Our aid will be substantial, well, we had none before. It's the same program. We're gonna be getting 26 brand new machines throughout the district. So again, typically, just like anything, they run great a few years and you start getting some problems.
Yeah.
This company's great with the maintenance. Any maintenance call, we don't pay for it. They cover all toner. The only thing we would pay for would be consumables, paper, things like that. But you know, again, all in all, I think it's a good way of saving the district some money long term.
And that is in the annual contract for the maintenance.
Yeah.
So we're not paying for toner issues, something breaks down, it's all included in that.
All included. And if
And
one
this-
uses- yeah,
This is through all three schools.
correct.
Okay.
And what company?
I want to know what company too.
Yeah, 'cause-
EBE.
What?
EBE Office Solutions. They're out of Binghamton. They have a lot of county contracts and other schools in the area.
It's not who we just got at Cortland, and who we just got at Cortland is horrible.
Yep, again, maintenance wise, again, copiers are always gonna break, it's just the nature of it.
Yeah.
People are busy, they jam them, they don't have time to fix them, you know, but Shannon knows firsthand. I fix a lot of Shannon jams, that's fine, get busy. But again, if we can't fix, we call them, they're up here that day fixing things and.
And they just partnered with BOCES? So
The
we,
last few years, yeah.
Okay.
So we had a longstanding vendor over 5 years ago. We went out for RFP. EB actually beat out the company we were dealing with, so that's when we moved to them. Then again, they've had a very good service record, and again, now that they go through BOCES, it was really a no-brainer.
a no-brainer, okay. Well, you are saving us money, so thank you.
Of course.
And it sounds like overall, we're getting a good deal because we're gonna get about 83% back. And I love that you reiterate that at every meeting that we have where when we do have contracts with BOCES for
Yeah.
people, I mean, because you look at that, that's a lot of money. And the maintenance per year, it sounds like a lot, but big picture, the return that we get on that investment is significant. So it's just, I think it's really good to note that. So I appreciate you
Yeah.
making sure you reiterate that every time.
I hate doing the maintenance on copiers. Printers.
He's like, no joke, he's an expert. Like,
Yeah, I
you're
like-
No, I.
not that you wanna be, Zach.
I'll try it first.
You had to be.
I've gotten to that point, but God, I get tired of it.
So are you getting a,
Service fee? Okay, any further questions? All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstain? Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, that the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District authorizes the collection of taxes for the 24-25 fiscal year and the issuance of the library tax warrant for the collection thereof by authority of Article 13 of the real property tax law. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tiana. And a second? Was that you, Aubrey?
Yeah, I'm not second tax collector.
Huh?
I'm not second tax.
Let's collect it all. It's less I have to pay.
And I just want to note that I will be abstaining on this.
Yes. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Why you had it pulled out of the consent agenda.
Yes, it is, because I didn't want to have to abstain from everything else
Right.
that was in the consent agenda.
Yeah.
And I like being a pain. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
So just for the new members, this is really a formality. We've already approved the tax levy at the May vote. But now that the tax rates are final, that's what I do in my office with BOCE CBO, and we give it to the counties to start making the bills. They need the formal board authorization of the warrant. So that's that document. Again, Stephanie has it. She signs it after we vote on it.
Actually, we all have to sign it.
Yeah.
There's two of them there and you need to sign your name and then record your vote.
Yeah. So this is for 162,000?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
again,
And
this is
this,
library levy,
yeah,
it's 162,000, so it
97 and 65, whatever that is.
was
well,
162.
I think it should be clarified, this is not something that the school district is asking for. It's something that the area was and it has to go through the school
It
district.
has to go through the process.
Yeah, I mean, there's a long history of the
That's a good
library
point.
tax.
But I'm just saying that it's so if in case people are wondering.
Yep,
if-
the libraries had to do a referendum and it was approved. And what the libraries are doing is taking advantage of the school district's tax collecting capabilities. And the district collects the library tax and then usually in October, if Zachary remembers.
That's a good ask.
That's all right. It's like little bitty money compared to what you normally deal with. They then cut a check to the two libraries, which is the Lyle Free Library and the Mary Wilcox Library, and that is how we are funded.
In the tax bill.
Yeah, but I mean, it just, the way it comes through the school, it makes it look
Yep.
different than it is being done.
You have two.
There's two pounds.
Two.
Sorry.
Okay, all those in favor?
I.
Any opposed? And I am abstaining.
Correct. Thank you, sir.
That brings us all the way to the superintendent's update.
I will be quick because we've been here a while, but I have a couple of things to tell you. One is, I was going to say we have August graduation maybe on August 22nd. That would be at 7 o'clock if we need to, and if we do, I will let you know. I'll send them an email to invite you. August graduation, as those of you who ever attended, is very nice and very personal. And often is it like a really special, extra special celebration for that individual. Or a couple of individuals. I also wanted to let you know, in case you hear or wonder, or I'm sure you see it in the news, but school districts are going to be required. It looks like they're not backing off on the school bus electrification process. You know, obviously for rural school districts, this has been a big concern. There's lots of obstacles in the way, but we are required to show that we're doing our due diligence to, you know, do research and move ahead. And so Zach has been spearheading work with NYSERDA, has these programs where these companies do this work. And so we had actually met with another representative from another firm, and it was kind of a ridiculous meeting, and we sort of dropped the ball and then got a recommendation from another district and are now working with these people who are very organized and very sharp. And so we're doing what we need to do. I mean, I don't think I have to explain to you all. the issues
It's gonna
that-
change. We just
yeah.
gotta keep going with the ball. That's all.
So we have to do it.
And we have to show that we're doing our due diligence to research and assess and come up with, potential plans and. So, but as that unfolds and as we get more information and we have what the plan would be, we'll be sharing that with you.
So on the news today, they just announced that they're, it's minuscule really, but the governor just announced that they're making available $2 million, something like that. That's nothing, but.
Yeah, and I believe when they put together their plan, they'll put together funds that are available and.
And I think that's kind of what this process is they need this information to see where all the schools are actually at and what it would take to get them at 100%.
It's a cost analysis sort of thing going on.
Yeah, but again, they can't, that's why they kind of have this avenue to do it, and they're making sure we get this report done, who will.
And how many extension cords can you safely attach to each other?
They were in more today on the phone call about how close we were to the dam, which
Yeah.
is interesting, but, so we'll see.
And that
It's
is
not a
that is-
hydroelectric dam though.
And that
That's
is
the thing.
Greg's that's putting that in, not the church.
I had a question, Zach,
Check
do
with
we?
That's
I
not
know
what the
that
village says.
these Buses are almost like
Check with them.
twice as much in weight than the regular school buses. Can our bridges even sustain that?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be too concerned with what they're doing.
I mean, I'm
these
just,
days, but-
again, there's all these other components. Obviously, there's so many. I just wanted to bring that up because obviously we're building a new bridge. We had the other bridge built, but we have some older bridges that the buses go over.
I don't, know specifically how much heavier they are, but again, you have a battery but no engine. That's
Yeah,
the
and
way I
battery
look at it.
sizes are gonna change
Yeah.
drastically in a couple
Yeah.
years.
No, but I heard the way
Drastically.
they're built. I mean, I've been doing
They
research
don't last
myself
long
that
either.
they're,
The older batteries were very, very heavy, but the newer ones are not.
yeah, it wasn't the
They don't last
battery.
any
It was,
longer.
yeah. So we have to do this, but it doesn't mean we're doing this.
Well, we have to be researching and assessing,
All right.
and
And we
coming
have
up
to show
with.
documentation
And we
that
have
we're
to
doing
submit
that.
it, we have to submit it to state ed, yeah.
Okay,
So the end result's probably gonna be that there's some routes in our fleet that could benefit from an electric vehicle, but
Right.
not all. Some will be impossible. That's probably gonna be the end result of the
Mhm.
report.
And that's what Johnson
And
City
what the
did.
state ends up doing
Yeah.
with it. Obviously, I think they'll know that we cannot physically have 100%
we
compliance.
could have one bus there.
And that's the one that
I don't
said.
know, like, the legislation right now is everyone 100%.
Okay.
Again, that's not.
Right, so it's not feasible and there's a lot of problems, but I mean, ultimately, the real problem is much bigger, so. There has to be-
Structure.
I'm just saying
Do
that
we have that?
the emissions and stuff like that is a much bigger problem.
Bless you.
than Where children, grandchildren, there's a lot of
Right.
stuff being messed up if you see the hurricane. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to,
No, I understand.
and this is not right, but at least it's kind of forcing to go in the right direction. I understand, and I even voted before, and
Right.
I understand that this is, but the problem isn't going away. It's just the fix has to be better.
Right.
Actually, we won't need bus drivers, we'll just need bus aides because the buses will drive themselves. Oh dear Lord.
Okay, and so I'd like, again, you probably, because obviously it's a hot topic
It's a
out
hot
there,
topic.
so if you hear people talking about it, you can let them know, we're doing what we need to do.
All right.
And then the other, you know that we talked about the yonder bags, and so I thought you might want to see, we're gonna have our night, August 22nd. All of you who wish you had invented this.
I wish I did, and I want stock in it now.
No, the one I wanted to invent was Velcro.
Well,
Wait, are you being serious?
Yeah, because that was the stick that the guy noticed how prickers stick together and he
It's so
invented
Velcro.
Velcro.
Yeah, I need Post-it
Bird
notes.
feathers,
I wish I invented
That's
Post-it notes
ridiculous.
bird feathers.
or Amazon.
Okay.
So, just, again.
Are you
just
passing them
to-
down?
To review, we have tried different methods to try and mitigate the pull of cell phones.
I'm not letting you put my phone in there, Shannon.
I didn't really pay attention to how they did it. I was watching Molly Holly not be able to do it.
Oh, there you go. Did you do it? No?
You gotta like.
I don't know, I mean.
We need a younger hammer.
Yeah.
Can you just, can we just look at it though? Can you pass it down, please?
If there is nothing that complicated.
I just want to see it. I'm just curious what it looks like. And the kids
There's a whole
can
bag
carry
of
this
them.
with them.
So they get assigned one, it's
Okay.
theirs.
And the magnet wipes everything in the phone.
Yeah, no, they turn the
Doesn't.
phone off and
But the
then
magnet
they
won't.
power down and then they put it in there and
You have to
so they
make sure
have
it's
it.
lined up.
And there's a little needle that,
Oh,
Yeah.
so it
yeah,
just,
because if you break the needle, it will do, I mean, I watched the YouTubes on hacking the yonder, so.
Right, and I'm sure, we're gonna, all of that stuff is gonna happen.
Other side.
So, again, I'm sure you're going
It's
to
like the
be,
thing on your clothes.
we just, so
It
people are
is.
gonna
It's
ask
exactly
about
what it
this.
is. It's what your clothes have on it. They don't have to die in it.
oh, Joanne's trying to talk.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Joanne,
People
sorry.
are gonna ask you about this, right? I mean, so we have tried
I
different,
just locked it, you guys. All you gotta do is push the button. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, no, the magnets are for unlocking.
Oh, okay, cause I just locked it with my, okay, I'm
so,
Use some
so kids are
YouTube
gonna
there.
come in, they're gonna have their own, they're gonna assign a yonder bag. Unless parents say, you know what, I'm not giving my child a cell phone, they're not gonna have one, then we're gonna get that information, they'll have a pass, they don't need it. They'll come in, they'll shut down their phone, they'll lock their yonder pass, they have their phone, their $700 phone on them all day. But it won't, they'll know that it's not, that they can't look at their
access
phone,
it.
because right now what's happening, it's this constant temptation and pull. It's in their pocket, it's in their bag, it's vibrating, it's like, they know somebody was gonna, they were in the middle of looking at whatever and they're getting drawn to it, and it's not even really their fault because it's just so addictive. So, we've had I can't even begin to tell you how it's impacted the school day. It just is so dramatic. And it also puts every single teacher in the position, every period of the day, to have to like do battle with kids about keeping the phone away.
You don't whack it,
Not to close it.
So what do you do?
other side, flip it around, and then I think it's the gentle.
It's
Yeah.
gentle.
Can you pass it around? I wanna cry.
I was sort of laughing because I'd watched the video and I'm like.
Joanne, we
Is
should
that what
lock
they showed
our
in the
phone,
video?
in
That's how I
the
fix
yonder
everything.
bag for board meetings.
Yes.
No, I'm just, look at Stacey, or Stephanie's looking at me like, yeah, shut up.
I don't think any of us look at our phones here.
No, I set mine up, looking up a password, because I couldn't remember it.
Halfway through, I always think, oh, I didn't turn off.
I know.
I just checked my glucometer.
It's gonna go off like.
And there's another magnet in that.
All right,
Joanne,
well,
will there be,
wanna
will
try
they have
it.
a number on the
Yes, we
bag
do.
or a name?
So
for
they
them?
can, it's theirs, so they can decorate it, they can put their
Oh.
name on it, they can do whatever they want with it.
I wanna be your yonder locker unlocker.
We'll need videos. I think you should do a video.
So this is how we unlock the yonder.
Oh, I didn't.
I love
They
it.
have videos already on
Yeah,
YouTube.
no, I was just watching.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't understand why I can't do it.
Another way.
Yeah, and then just,
Right open.
no, oh, push, no, I think it's just, no, you had.
I have a question.
And then we got it down there.
Question.
Got it.
Okay,
No,
so
push
So
middle.
it's just like the.
Push this.
right?
Push this?
Yeah.
this is a change
I got it.
of lifestyle for our students.
Yes.
I am very concerned that there is communication going out that how many of you can tell me all of the phone numbers that you have in your phone and memorized and know how to call somebody in an emergency? These children are not used to that.
So they better write it down.
Well, but who's got to educate them? Somebody has to educate them. Somebody has to tell them these things. They're not going to do
In an
it.
institution to educate.
I know that, but I'm saying I didn't see that in the plan of action. I'm concerned about it.
So what do you mean, like if they?
Because a child who all of a sudden say they accidentally leave and they have their yonder packed and the school's closed and they need to call for a ride and they have no ability to get in their phone because they didn't write it down on a piece of paper that they have, this is my dad's phone number, because I've never memorized it.
Right, right.
I'm really concerned because I've had that happen with students at school and it freaks them out.
They will still have their Chromebooks. They will be able to email, which I know.
I'm talking about more emergency. And then, so if we don't teach them these things, and yes, we are an educational institution, but we forget that this is a different lifestyle that has happened. And now we are changing their lifestyle again. You and I are all used to the fact that we used to write things down and put them in our wallets and things like that.
They can learn that.
They
stuff.
don't, they put it in their phones. They have notes in their phones.
Mhm.
So I just think we need to be conscious of these things and help the students to prepare themselves so as not to be freaked out.
So part of this meeting on August 22nd is to talk about these things.
Yeah.
Like what are our worries and how are we gonna work together to problem solve around them?
August 22nd.
August 22nd,
5 o'clock here.
5 o'clock here, and then we're also on the welcome back night, which is September 3rd. There'll be sessions in both the TRA and the high school. So this is grades 6 through 12. And again, some kids, especially the younger ones, don't all have phones.
Right, that's,
You know,
I'm not worried about
But
that.
in the older grades, they almost all do.
Yeah.
And the majority do it. from
Right.
6th
Well,
grade up.
to address Chris's concern, I can understand, all kidding aside, yes, this is a change for them. This is how they grew up. We grew up very differently. With that said, though, getting back to basics, and if there is an emergency, guess what? We have a district office, we have teachers, we have faculty, there's people everywhere, and we're kind of gonna, push them back to basics where you call the district office if there is an emergency. You do have email available if you need to reach out to your parents. You are in school to get an education, not to play with your phone and have the constant interaction and disruption. So I know I'm simplifying it here, but I think that's the dilemma that we have is they are so connected, and removing that is gonna cause angst, anxiety, tension, fear, all the things that Chris described. So I appreciate it. I think the education is important, and we're not cutting them off. We're simply saying it's impacting your education. We recognize it, and it doesn't allow us to fulfill our vision here at Whitney Point Central School District. I
Right.
mean,
And for parents, like, it's legitimate. I mean, even my kids are not in school age anymore, but even if my kids don't text me back right away, I'm like, where are you? What's the matter?
I mean,
There's a mindset of like, that's how you parent. You make sure your kid's okay.
Instant gratification.
Yeah, and I know teachers, I mean, I understand teachers don't want to have it there, but I also know that teachers are somewhat used to students having these. And they might be giving notes on their Perthium board, and maybe students have their cameras out taking pictures of the notes. Because a lot of students do that because the teacher moves too fast. So now teachers are going to have to think about that. The students aren't going to have their phones to do that. So now I need to be, as a teacher, take pictures of the Perthium board and make sure it's in the student's Google Classroom, things like that. It's a change of lifestyle that can be done, but we need to be aware of what we are doing. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, but I will tell you that in recent years, there was actually more of that before than there is now. First of all, we're 1-to-1, so all students have a
Right,
device,
I know
right? So
that,
they can
yeah.
use that. But they have become such a problem where we used to think about how can we integrate phone use into class.
Right.
It's become such a distraction and a problem that they just really need to have them off the table. If we're gonna use technology responsibly, we have devices to do that. Let's learn to do that. I honestly feel it's not kids' fault. I mean, it's set these, the algorithms are set up to suck them in constantly. And even, there's parents who have said to me, why are you punishing my kid? Because my kid did use them responsibly and it's not been a problem.
When I mentioned that this was being done, my middle daughter, Molly, she's going, oh, yet again, one of our benefits that we have that is being taken away because people can't control themselves.
it's an accurate statement in fairness. We
It
tried
is.
we tried the pouches, Joanne. I mean, honestly, I think that the district has done the best they could do to try to remove the phones from the classroom.
I don't agree there, but that's fine.
Well,
I think
the
they tried,
the
policy
policy
didn't
was there.
get carried out.
Right, if it wasn't followed through from top to bottom, now we're in this situation, Chris. So at the end of the day, somebody didn't do what they were supposed to, and now this is gonna become an industry standard.
It's gonna go away in about 2 years, I bet you.
I don't think so, Chris.
No, I mean the yonder part.
Can I-
Oh.
They'll have other ways to do
Can
it.
I just add to that? So if you hear this and you don't have to buy into this, clearly, some people won't, that's okay. But the intent is that it's a safer environment for everybody.
Agreed.
Whether you were acting responsibly or not, because right now, all sorts of really negative things happen. Kids are filming each other. And again, I don't really feel like it's their fault because there's this culture online of who can have the most outrageous video, who can have, so there's this pull to do that. And all kids are vulnerable to it. And, there's just really a lot of negative stuff that happens during the day that all kids experience, even if they are acting completely responsibly. And in the classroom,
all kids lose out when the teacher has to attend to kids not doing what they're doing, it's loss of instructional time, they have to witness kids doing battle with teachers. I mean, it just, to give them just a break, come to school and not have that pull. And let's just focus and learn together. I mean, that's our hope. I mean, we know it's not gonna be perfect. We know
Right.
that we're gonna continue to assess it and maybe change the plan and adapt and have more parent meetings.
But if we can reduce some
Yeah.
of it,
Yes.
it's a benefit, even if it doesn't eradicate the issue fully, if we can just reduce
Yeah.
its impact on day-to-day education, then
Yeah.
we've accomplished something.
And Chris, your point about, educating students, like that's a really important point that I actually had not thought about, because we thought, well, they can call from the office, but suppose, like you said, they didn't unlock it and they're out and they can't reach anybody and they don't know the phone numbers. So that's, but I think other things will come up too, and then
Right.
we'll have to have plans and adjust
But they
based on
keep
those.
so much in their phone.
Yeah.
Well, we all
And,
do.
and
Mhm.
I mean, I get that it needs to stay locked, but I don't want us to become so stringent that if a student comes down to the main office and says, I need access to my notes to get this so I can take care of something, that we give them that 1 minute to do it in the
Sure.
office. I just don't want us to become,
No, right. And yes, and so yes,
Hitler.
they come down, they'll be unlocking devices and they can come get permission to go down. I have to unlock the phone. I have to get the phone number. I have to get whatever.
right. I didn't see those kind of things in the
The Q&A,
document,
well-
so I was concerned.
And or if they need it for a medical reason, or if they need,
Yep.
and we'll be updating the Q&A as, like, again, there's gonna be all sorts of issues that people are gonna raise and, we'll have to adjust things together.
And unfortunately, when they see that, oh, that one used that excuse, I'm just saying, there's
I
always
know.
the ones that will then use the right reason for the wrong reason.
No, my daughter locked her phone in her car with her keys and could not remember a single phone number. Finally remembered our house phone number, and luckily we were in the house to answer it.
Yeah.
And that was an adult,
I get it.
frantic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
so
get
children
it.
are going to be the same way.
Yeah, but like you said, educating the Q&A, I think will be very helpful. And as you guys see often questions, frequent questions, you can add that to your Q&A. So people have access to it online. I think you're doing a great thing, and I would love to walk down the hallway and see kids talking and not on their
Yeah.
phone. That, they don't get to appreciate what we all had in school. And that's a lifetime experience, not a moment, right?
I think that the only way that we could go wrong is by not continuing to try.
Thank you. It's the effort. So thank you for doing it. We support you and we hope it goes well. And I'll be here on August 22nd to support you.
Thanks.
I'll be on the
That's it
beach.
for me.
Okay. That brings us to the second opportunity for comments from the public. Do either of you?
You're not gonna say, but I was gonna say.
No, I never do for the second portion. I just remind you politely that the introduction I read for the first opportunity is the same for the second.
And thank you guys for what you're doing. It's a long night for all of you, and I know you put a lot of work into reading and being prepared and everything tonight, so thank you. As far as the phones go, I have to say, I am 100% ready to tackle all of that, Chris. I mean, we know it, and it is just 100%. I don't think any of us, even as adults, realize the algorithms and the way it's all controlling us every single day. So we can show these kids that, and when you say, I think that we are educating, there are all of those new technology standards out there that the librarians and the media specialists and our tech integrators have been looking at. And all of that goes into those curriculums that we're getting ready to put out there. So I think there are some definite steps to be taken, but to get them out of the hands of these kids that are, unfortunately, you're right, the kids that are doing some good things. But even those kids, I think, get mistreated by the kids that are using the phones in negative ways, and it really impacts them. So again, I look forward to tackling that and making sure that we do what we need to do, and I'm sure we're going to need to modify as we go.
Yeah.
We're gonna solve it on day 1, 22nd, I'm gonna be in Disney, thank you very much. I will not be here, and I will look forward to how we're gonna do that. On the other one though, I will say also, thank you very much, I come here after we spend our time with the Teachers Association. As president of the Teachers Association, I'm here for the teachers and the negotiating team to again say how much we appreciate the relationship we have with administration. It's not an easy process, it's a long process. This year we went right down to the end of the school year, which puts us to this point. With that, but the hard work by both the district, the teachers, on the team, and the board, thank you very much for supporting us. And again, we're ready to go for another year and we're looking forward to it. So
Yay! Thank you for your
Thank you.
feedback. Thank you so much. And thank you ladies for staying. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support. Thank you.
They like a little bit of comic relief at the end of the day. And good luck with your new position.
Yes, I look forward to hearing how it goes. I'm actually really excited for you. I love these new opportunities and it sounds like a great. You're fully prepared for it too,
we're
it
looking to
sounds like.
hire the last few people, hopefully as we get closer to the school year. And
Great.
I mean, look what happened. What was it before the Promise Zone? It was something and then the Promise Zone and then. Yeah, it's the share grant, which then morphed into the Promise Zone, which then morphed into community schools. Look what we've accomplished with that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So,
Services already. throughout
oh, I know. I'm just saying that it's another
layer.
of what we can offer. So.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Do we need an executive session? I have a couple things. Or we passed board comments? I know, I was trying to. Okay. But not really. I missed it. I'm not gonna hand out this board goals that was printed out because it's not the copy I sent Stacy. I sent a new copy, so this one's not correct.
Have a good night. Thank you.
I made the changes to that board goal 4. I made changes and I did the sub bullets and everything. But I didn't have the couple edits that Joanne had put in. So I'm gonna take them from this and then.
I reshared it with you. I
Yeah.
shared it. Did you get it now?
I got it
Yeah.
I got it like at 5:30.
Well, I sent
Yeah.
it to you on Saturday after we left, but I don't know. It must not have.
It never got to me,
Yeah.
so I was kind of curious, I was like, I told her I was gonna take a Sunday break, but then I never got it. And I emailed her on Monday and I said, can you send it to me? But I'm like, I knew she was busy, so let me reorganize the document. I don't think it's gonna put us behind, we've already did half of goal 4 tonight with all this health and safety stuff. But I did rearrange it and change it up, so
Thank you for
I'll
doing that.
send it out and then we can just look at it either the next board meeting or in September. Either
And
one.
then once we approve it, Stacy's gonna put it in and then we can start
Right.
adding to
Mhm.
it.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep. So I'll do that. And then I have another question and we didn't address this at our retreat, or whatever it was called that we did. The conference, the national conference is coming up and I would like to go. I know that the board doesn't have a set funding process for us to do something like that. So I don't
Like a
know.
barbecue.
Where is it, Chris?
Horribly, it's in New York City.
Ugh.
The last 2 years I've gone, the first year, BOCES paid for me. I told them the school board was just getting into the NISBA, and could they anyway pay it for me? And they were very kind, and they actually found some money and paid it for me. I had to take care of all my housing and everything, and all my travel. The second year, Zach did cover most of my stuff, but I also was very conscious of the school's needs. So I stayed at an Airbnb that cost me only $60 a night
Nice.
versus $270 a night that the hotel was costing, and I walked a mile to the conference every day. So it saved a lot of money.
You're awesome.
Good for you.
And so I figured that all out. There is no way for me to save money with this trip except to ride the bus, which I already have said, I'll ride the
Oh, God
bus.
bless you.
They're gonna do a bus from.
No,
Yeah,
it's a special, it's a
charter
No,
bus.
I know, I saw it.
Oh,
I saw
okay,
the whole,
okay.
yeah, no,
I think it's city
it's
bus.
it's specifically for this
Yeah,
event.
so that will
Okay.
save
I saw
money, cause
that.
you don't have to like pay for tolls, and you don't have to pay
Right,
for
right.
parking and the horribleness that happens, but there's just no way I can save on the cost of the hotel room.
What's the cost?
The cost of the hotel room is, I've already reserved, so if you guys say no, I'm gonna pay for it, I don't care. The hotel is gonna cost me $1,200 and the conference fee is $500.
And what are they covering exactly? What is it?
All the national stuff they do in the state, all the voting they do, all the legal stuff they do. I'll probably be seeing schools and what they're doing with phone stuff. I mean, they do it's huge. There's like 5,000 people. there.
How long is it?
3 days.
3 days.
I think that it's a great benefit that you go.
Oh, I do too.
Because you can bring the information back to us. I'd love it if we could all go. However, that is
I
definitely
think
cost
we're gonna
prohibitive.
put 2 beds, so if somebody wants to go, you can split the.
It is cost prohibitive for all of us to go. Zachary, I'm going to ask you on behalf of the board to please find as much as you can to cover Chris's costs to going to the conference.
I do think it's beneficial. She does bring a lot back when she attends any of these events, and it's always helpful, and it does give us a lot of insight of what's being discussed, what the perceptions are, you know, things to look forward to. So I would also.
I mean, I love New York City. I've been there so many times. I would really like it not to be in New York City. Oh, I know. The Syracuse one, actually, I didn't have any charges because I stayed in our lake house and traveled
I
20
remember
minutes
you
back
going to
and
the
forth.
Syracuse
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So I've always been
Yes.
very respectful of our
Conscious of-
costs.
Right, and,
Yeah.
and we know that, and I'm sure that Zach will see what he can finagle.
And we don't ask for much, Zach.
Zach. I mean, Zach, you
I mean, come on, I asked for city chicken
And then
once a
he
year.
says maybe. Zach, I know you say
Zach.
no, and then you go, let me think about it.
I
This
know
time
the,
Your budget has increased substantially in the last
Well.
3 or 4 years.
It-
Yes.
But yes, you tell me to do it, yes, I'll find the funds, that's no big deal.
I will say that the
Thank you,
only way to take care, like, the hotel I've reserved. But if I want to get the state taxes off and all those things, which would save us about $125, I have to do it a special way with so,
Yeah, I think just work with Stacy and
Okay.
we'll get a reserve where we have to pay from the district.
Yeah,
directly.
so.
Zach, is there anything we can do as a board to reduce our budget? Or are we doing everything we can? 'Cause I
Like
guess
Tom
we're-
said, chicken barbecue.
Oh,
Well,
I think say I'll make.
we'll get some back.
it's NISBA, like, is there anything we're not conscious of for our spending? I'm
I
just
think you guys
curious.
added a lot of expensive programs on that.
Because of board docs, help me understand board docs.
Bordex and Superval both.
Super-
because
School
we had to up,
Association
School-
is. 10
The NISBA,
Yeah.
we're talking about NISBA,
Yeah.
right?
He said we spent too much.
But NISBA, I see the benefit, and I know that's still okay, so I just wanted to make sure I understand.
It's just like you do the comparison, right? Like you
Yeah.
look over the Board of Education expenses over 5 years. 5 years ago it was around $5,000. It's around 25, 30 grand now.
Yep.
Okay,
So
Well,
that's a pretty big
everything's
increase
increased.
But yeah, and
but
but I
we've
do,
implemented
this time.
programs that we didn't have before, not that that's
No.
justification, but I just wanted to understand, are we overzealous in our spending, or are we making good conscious business decisions because it's benefiting how we do things how we do things.
we'll get
kind
the
of as a-
Superval and the board docs 80% back starting
Okay.
next year, right?
Following year, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
still an expense on the
Right,
budget. and
right,
the
right.
aid is-
Okay.
and that is true, but I do know that from years of not being part of NISBA, that we were not as well informed. We didn't have access to trainings and things like that, or if we did, we actually paid twice the cost. And I think that we're all cognizant of how much we're spending. I think that the choices that we made have been wise. I think it's important for us to belong to NISBA. I do know that SuperEval made doing the evaluation so much easier after years of
So much easier.
doing it other ways.
Yeah.
And board docs does help. We no longer have to send a packet out.
We're probably saving money on paper. Like, Zach, I'm trying here.
critiquing,
I
I'm
gotta-
telling you facts.
I know,
I'm not gonna say it's worth
I
it.
know. Look at you, you're like.
Right, what I'm saying is that I do not take us spending money on these things lightly. And I think that we have made wise choices in what we are purchasing and that we are getting a commensurate amount of benefit for what we're spending.
So
Would I recommend we go out and do lots of other stuff?
No.
No, but I think that we have chosen 3 things that have a big impact on how this board can function.
What do you got, Tom?
So I just wanted to mention, so one thing, just point of order, and it's not anything, but before anything is said on behalf of the board, I think you should check with the board. I mean, I'm no offense, just.
No, I said that I feel, my feeling is.
Oh, no, and yes, Zach, on behalf of the board, can we, so just. And not.
Find the
I'm
funds
not
for me.
trying to- I'm not
Gotcha.
trying to be nasty about
No,
it.
you're right. You.
And then the
you are-
other thing
you're entirely
is,
right.
even though, I mean, I know in my household, it's like, yeah, oh man, I want this, this is great, this is great, this is great, this will make everything better, but at a point. When your budget's your budget
You
and
gotta
you're
say
beyond
no.
it, you have to say no to certain things, and I'm not trying to say that about this, but we have jumped a huge amount.
We have,
Yeah,
All in 1 year.
yes, we have spent a lot of
So,
money.
and then I'm pleased, I'm not trying to say it
No,
against you, I'm just saying that.
The
with that
last
money
conference
that-
I went to, I did not take any money
No,
from this.
I know that.
This, and then that conference, I got I did the law conference, that was $500, right? Joanne, you paid for yours, right? So,
So,
yeah,
I'm just gonna tell you this, that I'm not, just to, and I
$1,000.
don't disagree, or I'm not telling you, but I have been like researching and, all districts in our area, not only, we just have not done
Right.
this. We've had next, like Zach said, next to no budget. So this is a big change and a big jump and a
Yes,
lot of
it is.
expenses. But other districts, it's part of their budget. And they are NISBA members and they do send not just one, but
You send
multiple
sometimes whole
people
boards.
to every
Part of the
NISBA
budget.
conference. So they have we were just coming from a different place. So it's, as a board, you have to decide,
Should it be part of the budget is
Yeah.
what you're saying?
Right.
Okay, that's actually good to know because
Yeah.
I did not know that until just now.
And those districts are not having their board members pay themselves.
Okay.
They pay
Which is
for
a
it
good business
because-
practice.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
Shenango
you-
Valley had 5 people at the last conference.
Yeah.
Not Valley, whatever it was.
Smaller, do we have smaller school districts?
Harpersville,
Oh, that's
not
small.
Harpersville had 4 people and they all went to the law conference and the regular
Oh my
conference.
gosh, here, let me
That's
write
like
this down. I know-
$1,000.
I know somebody there that gets told no about all kinds of stuff.
So, yeah,
Oh.
so. I mean, I see it all the time and I like going, I enjoy
didn't know
learning,
that.
I enjoy sharing.
Right.
It's just part of
I've
who
liked
I
to go
am.
to the blog.
So-
There are things I'd like to do, but
Oh, Stacy, you can send all that stuff out to
Yeah.
them. I sent it to you.
Well, Zach, we appreciate your transparency. You're doing your job, making sure that
Yeah, a whole
we're on
bunch of
track, we're within budget,
PowerPoints.
we spend a lot. Maybe it's something to look at down the line, Joanne, that maybe, it's part of the budget and people vote on it.
I just think, I think we should be planful about it. If this
Absolutely.
is the direction that we feel like this is really important to educate board members and you
Yep.
want to spend money in this way, then it needs to be beforehand.
Yep.
I mean, and in fairness, Chris shouldn't have to be like begging.
No, she
No.
should not,
Either.
because we're benefiting from her
Right.
earned dollar. When I say we collectively are benefiting from that, and I've heard her say multiple times she's attended events where she's paid out of her own pocket, and she has brought back the information and shared it with us. And it's been informative, helpful, educational. I mean, there's a win across the board.
So if you
All
decide
good
as a
kids.
board that we think.
Look at, we get something from her. I'll pass these
that's
around.
because you were so nice.
But I mean,
No.
so these other districts didn't add all of that at once, I guarantee
No,
you.
right.
They might have started with 1 member or 2,
Mhm.
but
Correct.
Right.
I'm just saying,
Have
we're
more
going
at
from
home. I
0
just
to
guess I didn't
100
bring
in
enough.
1
Right,
year.
I know.
That's just.
And I think that you should
I
be
think that it
strategic
should
and
be.
say, we think it's
These are
probably
assets.
important to send one person to
Yeah.
the law conference and then have like a sharing session afterwards, or.
I have
Yeah.
another NISBA one up.
I think it's a good idea, but like I said, in my own budget, there's a
Thought I
lot of
put enough
things I
away.
want to do.
Or Tom, you could say, no, it's not a priority, and we'll educate ourselves in a different way, but I mean, that's.
And Tom,
You have
point
the
taken,
choice.
point taken on my charging,
I'm
doing that, and
sorry.
no, point taken,
I heard it too, and I was like, ooh, are we not voting? Because I said I was okay with it too.
no,
I like the idea, I just.
And it is hard for me to ask, I will say that, but I do try to save as much money as I possibly can when I do these things. That's just me.
do we have anything else to discuss?
That was all mine.
Board wise, I guess I'll add 2, because I made the comment about the buses. And I just want to make the analogy. we have 5 drivers in my house. I'm driving a 24-year-old car, so I don't have a hybrid. I don't have an electric car. I'm just saying that we have to get there, but I can't afford it now either. So I'm not trying to be holier than thou or say anything, but we have a big problem. We have to get there. And it's not feasible for me now either, even though I strongly believe in where we have to go. So that's the only point I'm trying to make.
I do know districts are
Before you-
trying to buy one that might work, things like that. I know they've been
It's
doing.
just do the benefits outweigh, you know.
And is the technology there right now?
Right, it's not, and the infrastructure, I mean, I keep losing power at my house, I'm ready to put in a full home generator, I can't, how are we gonna support?
No.
Like I said, getting there is the problem. Not getting there is the.
Joanne,
Right.
I have a picture of that bear in our,
Our
woods in our backyard.
Oh,
We
you
have
do?
that stuff,
I know.
they'll start fixing
My
something.
son Adrian got a
You know,
picture on the
works there with
webcam.
that comment,
Well, I know. but-
not you, I just
Right over
Joanne,
the hill.
by
from where
saying
it
we
was.
have to
Ted
continue down
keeps
that
finding,
path.
bear scat in our
Real
field.
quick, what was the other meeting that we decided to schedule?
At the,
27th.
When is it?
27th.
Of August,
Yep.
okay.
It'll be just for hiring.
I don't think we communicated that to Molly,
So
that's
it's
why.
the week before school starts and we just need a quorum because we're still hiring and to make sure people get started before the school year.
What time will that be?
6 o'clock.
okay, I put it in.
So 8:27, and Stacy will send something out though, yeah? Okay, 6 p.m. Thank you, Stacy.
As long as she has power.
And thank you all for everything that you've done, a very successful summer. I'm excited about the new year. Molly doesn't know it yet, but I signed you up to hang out with me for the welcome back.
This is what happens when you miss meetings.
Because you and I had so much fun. I asked Aubrey if she wanted to hang out with us. We had a good time last year. So this is what happens when Molly doesn't come. I sign her up for things.
Just tell me which school you want me to head to.
Okay.
Are we gonna do like we did before with a raffle and ticket and the baskets for all
Oh, I don't know,
that
do you want to do that?
What?
Again, raffle
stuff?
and
If
all
it's
that
90
stuff?
degrees like it was last
Whatever you
year
guys
now.
want us to do, we're happy to
It was
do.
So hot last year.
We're just.
Or you could just greet people.
We
and
had fun meeting
hand out
greeting.
bus driver applications.
Yes.
Yes, if we get people to fill those out, we want like a cookie or something. I don't know. No.
If we can find something that
Something fun.
would be, can we make a little, meet the BOE? You know, like a Whitney Point pencil, or if we can find
Yeah.
something that's really cheap and not expensive.
If you get a stamp from each of the board members,
Stamps, we can
you
stamp.
win a Whitney Point lunch
We can
pail.
make something.
I want the lunch pail.
said, I was looking at you.
You know, but if we can find something that we can give out, at least to the kids.
I'm gonna make something
Um,
to give out.
The bumper
And
up
when
all the
they're
buses were auctioning off.
There you go.
I'll send it to you.
You know, bookmark
I thought I
or something really inexpensive. If we can't find something that's inexpensive, then just our smiling faces will.
Well, Molly and I have fun and people want to come to our table, okay? They want to know who we are and what we're doing.
They want to know what the heck's going on. All that noise out there.
They're like, what are you guys doing over here? It's really loud. What's going on? We're just having a good time. Welcome back to school.
Bring music.
Of course, we would like to be out front here if we can again, because this is where all the bigger kids go. And that's the group we were getting. If that's okay, Stacy.
Thank you, everyone, for considering it.
Yes, thank you.
And if I do find somebody that'll share my room with me, it'll cut the cost off in half. So I'll keep looking, Zach.
So we have Molly and Tiana at the high school, you'll be at the CPA.
Where I will go wherever you want me to. I'll be at CEA and then I can always go down the
Aubrey,
TRA for a
didn't
little
you
while
want-
too.
Did you want to see CRA because you're going to the CEA, or you can hang out with us at the high school?
Did you want
The
to-
28th.
I said I could do either, I would do
This
either
is September
CPA or
3rd.
TRA. I
The
did
welcome
TRA
meeting,
last year.
welcome
She's gonna-
back.
First,
She's
but I
gonna
don't
wanna go to
But you're
CEA
gonna-
first.
Right.
I'm gonna take my kids to CEA.
So you
then
don't-
After that.
If you want,
After that, I can.
if you want to, you don't have to.
I can.
Okay,
Just tell me the day before which school you want me to show up for and I'm fine.
So can I just not who it, who's okay with?
I'm okay with anything but CEA.
Okay.
And they got the high school covered, so I'll do anything with the high school.
Yeah.
I'll start at the CAA and then I'll
Okay.
probably move to TRA.
It's fun last year.
What's that?
After CEA, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the way you've got the time schedule. She could be done and then she could come over here for a little while.
Oh, look,
Because they're.
Cause CEA is first, yep.
yeah, so did you guys stagger it from based on the feedback? Like, okay, you're already shaking your head. You knew what I was gonna ask, Shannon. Cause I remember people saying, I had to go from the CEA to the TRA to the high school. Can you stagger it different so I can go boom, boom, boom? Okay, cool. You got it. That's it. That's all I got. I know. I've been going since 5 o'clock this morning. I'm high on life right now.
I thought it was just caffeine.
No, I haven't even had any coffee since 8 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
We haven't.
Hey,
We didn't adjourn yet.
I know, I'm trying. These, I went home and couldn't sleep because of these chairs from last Saturday. Okay, we're going to adjourn the public meeting at 9:20. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We'll let Molly have it.
Go Molly.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain?
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
You know, I'm.
Oh, I hope. Best of work.